Alright, good morning everybody. Welcome to day 2 of ESA Corona Relief, raising money for Save the Children and their coronavirus emergency fund. I'm Froob. You heard me a little while ago as donation reading at the end of day 1 for Sakura Tsubasa. This run is going to last hopefully less than 2 hours 50 minutes, but we've got some extra stuff that's already been unlocked for afterwards, so we're gonna get going. Not just yet. Hold on, I forgot there's the save that has to be overwritten. I have to wait for the autosave to go through. Yakuza 6 is a weird game. We're gonna get to that. Cool. Right. Start the timer in 3, 2, 1, go. Right, so this run is super cool, actually. A little bit of backstory. This is the first ever Yakuza run that got accepted to a live marathon way back in ESA Summer 18. So that was the first time we were able to show off a Yakuza in a live marathon. What I did before this, just to talk about it a little bit to set up, you saw me in this fight just before I began the run. Good reason for that. 6 is weird. 6 likes to cache the maps before you actually get to them. So basically, as long as you have the map loaded up at first, then it actually loads up a lot faster. You'll see that we're going through a whole bunch of tutorials. Interestingly enough, Nagumo's actually able to dodge there, which counts the dodge for us as well. 4-hit combo. Strong attack. Nice dodge. He always does it around there. I want to push him towards that scooter if possible. Not so much that he'll break it. I'm going to grab one of these because we need a heat attack. So away from the wall. The scooter is the thing that does the most damage in this fight. So this is why we want it to stay around as long as possible. You can only use it when you're in extreme heat. You'll be seeing us use extreme heat a lot. I'm kind of sad that that actually didn't do as much damage as I was hoping. Now we're just going to pick up all the bottles because we're in this corner, which is unfortunate. And this is an extreme heat attack. So what you can do is, if you hammer square like that, then the attack will go through normally like that. That one we'll talk about a bit later on. It's fine for early game. It's a little rough late game. There's 2 different attacks you can do from extreme heat, which is a light and a strong. It happens after the 4th light attack you do. So light attack's a square, strong attack's a triangle. And basically, we're going to be doing strong attacks for quite a lot of the fights in this game because they tend to get blocked less. Now, you might be wondering what's going on with all the cutscenes we're skipping. I'm not going to go into too much detail because Yakuza 6 of all the Yakuza games directly spoils the end of the previous game. So everything that you're kind of seeing here is the aftermath of the events of Yakuza 5. I'm not going to go into too much detail with those, but essentially, Kiryu's going back into prison for a good 3 years. Excuse me. And the loading screen's pretty cool because loading screens actually give us some info that you don't actually learn at other parts in the Yakuza games, and then some stuff that does, like this one, which was part of Yakuza 2, actually. We'll be talking about Yakuza 2 later. There's quite a few really cool references to previous Yakuza games in 6. There's a whole bunch of the characters that you'll see or not see during the run. On the right here is Akiyama, and then on the right there is Daigo. Daigo likes to disappear every bloody Yakuza game, and he's gonna do it again. He's going to jail. If you have to question it, they've gone to jail. That seems to be the case with the vast majority of Yakuza characters. So, basically, this is after the events of Yakuza 5, as I said. Kiryu's in the hospital. The events of Yakuza 5 mean that somebody has to take the fall for what happened. Again, I'm not going to talk about that in too much detail. And essentially, Kiryu is the one who takes the fall. Haruka, who is Kiryu's essentially adopted daughter, they run an orphanage over in Okinawa. They are an orphan of 8 kids. And at this point of the story, this is like 6 months after Kiryu's been put in jail. There's a whole bunch of tabloids, you know what tabloids are like, who spread rumors about the orphanage being raised by a Kei-san, who's a member of the Yakuza. This orphanage is raising the Yakuza. No. But Haruka thinks that the best idea to go here, because she used to be a pop actress, or an idol, is to distance herself from the orphanage as well. So this is now 3 years after Kiryu went to jail. We're going to talk to all the kids, except we're not. This is the first game in the new Dragon engine. The Dragon engine is very different to the old engine, which was used from 3 to 5, although the one used in 5, 0, Kiwami 1, and Ishin was a slightly modified version of that one, so it's slightly different. This is the new engine. It's gonna look and feel a bit rough around the edges because it is. There's certain things that happen. There's certain things that happen in this engine that are a little weird, which you'll see. But this engine actually allows us to skip about 95% of all the cutscenes in the game, which is sad because the story in the Yakuza games is amazing, but for speedrun purposes, it makes this run super fast. If it followed the same pathway as Yakuza 5, which only allows the CG cutscenes to be skipped, this run would be like 6 to 7 hours long. So the Dragon Engine is fantastic, really fantastic. And obviously, Kiryu's now found out that Haruka's gone missing, and, you know, whenever Kiryu gets involved, he always goes back to Kamurocho. So we start the game in Kamurocho. I accidentally paused a little too early before the cutscene here. Sometimes there's really long loads as well. The Dragon Engine, especially with 6, is very inconsistent. We're going to do new strats that we came up with just over the last couple of days. This is Green Dakara. So the vending machines are a brand new addition to the Dragon Engine. Started with 6. I need to finish this drink off before I get to the door. Thank you. The vending machines are new to the Dragon Engine. They're new to the series out of 6. We are going to be picking up multiple different drinks. You can see in the top left now there is a little bar with a man running. Green Dakara is a stamina drink. This drink actually allows us to have infinite stamina. Allows us to run forever. Despite that, we can only utilize one drink at a time. The most popular ESA Yakuza run I've done is the Yakuza Kiwami 2 $20%, which is, despite earlier in the series, came out after 6 because it was a remake of the second game. If you remember the $20% run, you'll remember me using vending machines and grabbing a load of drinks. In 6, you can only carry one at a time. So we'll be drinking that, obviously, and then replenishing it with others. We're going to buy bentos because we need to give one to a hobo to let us through at this first chapter. I am buying an extra stack of bentos because in the 2 years that I've run Yakuza 6 for ESA, this run has changed. It's a little sadistic. You'll see what I mean by that in about 40 minutes time. So, first tutorial or the next tutorial, this one you don't actually have to actually follow all the instructions. For this one, you just have to finish all the enemies. The first one you did. Here we're going to get boost attack because obviously we want attack. And you saw very briefly that on the stats on the right hand side, everything started at a base 100. That's going to be very important for later on. And very important for the changes that have happened since the last time we actually ran this game at ESA. So, we came back to Kamurocho. We phoned our old friend Akiyama, because Akiyama was looking after Haruka before in the events of Yakuza 5. He might understand where she is because she's been sighted in Kamurocho. Akiyama is also missing. According to the barkeep here, Akiyama is hiding out from a group called the Saio Triad, who have taken over Little Asia, which is a little market over here. There was a big fire at the very beginning, like the events preceding Yakuza 6, between 5 and 6, and essentially Little Asia burned down, and after Little Asia burned down, the Saio Triad moved in. You're going to miss a really cool cutscene here, unfortunately, of Ed's amazing introduction. Ed is... You'll see him real soon. I love Ed. Ed is great. He's a beast. But we're going to get into another tutorial here. Again, the nice thing about this tutorial is that we don't actually need to follow it to a T. We just have to finish it. The quickest way is in 2 hits. That is not always the case. So we're going to grab the sign. Hopefully they all stay together. Good. And then hopefully these guys stay together. The guy at the back might move. Good stuff. Very good stuff. It's quite often that guy at the back will usually move back, which is frustrating because it costs you about 2 to 3 seconds just because his AI has decided to walk backwards. So we need to head back to Sky Finance. There is a unknown Tojo Clan officer there being held by the Saio Triad. So I'm going to be keeping an eye out. You can see on my mini-map at the bottom there are red arrows. Those are an enemy spawn. Enemy spawns are, pretty obvious. They're the enemy. They will be walking around town. They see you and they go into the alert phase, and then they chase after you very momentarily, and they get into a fight with you. The Yakuza games are completely optimized, including 6, for 0 optimal fights. So we're not going to be doing any optimal fights in the slightest. Should have held on to the CC lemon a bit longer, but it's fine. And here we find them around the back arena with that guy. So we're going to go over to the vending machine and grab one of these garbage cans to begin with. Hopefully they move together. This guy, he sometimes like stays behind. Nice. Good hits again. Again, 2 hits. Absolutely perfect. So we're going to help this guy out. He's going to tell us that Akiyama was spotted over in Children's Park. We are going to take a taxi over there. Taxis are your predominant method of fast travel. There's a fight spawn there that is moving the correct way. It's going to see me. I'm going to have to despawn it. So the primary method that we use to despawn enemies is vending machines. Vending machines we obviously use to get our attack buff and also our stamina buff, but we can use those to despawn enemies, which is absolutely phenomenal. There's a lot of vending machines around, as you'll see on the minimap. They're kind of the green little squares. And this is the reason why we bought the bento. You see that Kiryu actually like flinched a little late from the NPC. That happens. Those 2 on the right are a sub-story. We will not be doing any sub-stories during the run. We don't need to. They are a bit slow. Hand over the bento. He's not getting one of my luxury bentos. I need those. Need those for healing, just in case. So, Akiyama, before the events of his introduction in the Yakuza series, used to be homeless. So, this homeless man is actually blocking the entrance to the sewers because he's hiding out Akiyama. Now, unfortunately, Kiryu is a little dense, and Kiryu doesn't realize that he's being followed. As he finds Akiyama, the Saio Triad have also followed us, including that wonderful guy I told you about earlier, who goes by the name of Ed. Love this fight track. So we're going to try and take care of the normal enemies, and then also Ed. So, Ed's going to go down. Look how much damage we're doing thanks to that CC Lemon. He is in 1 hit range of going to his next phase, so we really want to hit the last 2 enemies before Akiyama hits Ed. Because after this QTE, as long as we're successful at it, had a couple of runs where I've messed it up. Ed is going to be within 1 hit range. Now, Ed loves to charge at you. Here's the thing. For some reason, this first attack never hits. So just wait and boom. That is the end of Ed. For now. Also, this engine is amazing because it gives us ragdoll physics, which are absolutely wonderful. You'll be seeing quite a few of those ragdolls during the events of this run. As we step out of the sewers, we get a phone call from an old friend, Date, who is a detective. He is at Toto Hospital, where they have found Haruka, who has unfortunately been involved in a hit and run. And even worse than that, in the 3 years that Kiryu's been in prison, Haruka's had a kid. And Kiryu's not happy. Because where's the dad? Who knows? And that's what we're going to find out over the course of this game. So as we're changing into a new chapter, Josh, there's a good time if you've got any messages?
Excellent, I was about to ask. Yeah, so we have a 140-cent donation from Saku Dingus. And they didn't leave a comment, but they did put it towards naming Cyndaquil Froobies.
There's a story behind that.
Okay, but hang on. So yeah,
yep.
Hang on. One sec. So yeah, thank you for that donation. And yeah, if you're watching, for those of you watching this run not live, like on YouTube or wherever else, just like to let you know that actually we, for the first time, we have a Tiffy, I think I'm saying that right, link in the description, so you can actually donate to Save the Children during while watching this, even if you're not watching live for the first time. So yeah, just thought I'd let you know guys know about that. And yeah, thanks a lot for the donations. Keep donating, and yeah, go ahead, Froob.
Yep. The story behind that is it's actually a donation for Sakura Tsubasa, who did the Link to the Past randomizer before this. I've got the load bug, haven't I? So if there's the load bug, look at the bottom right, this guy stops here. I can't run ahead of him, because if I run too far away from him, it'll game over the game. This is literally a reset point if this just happens, because he will just stop there for like a good 5 to 10 seconds. No reason. Awesome game. Anyway, the Frubies thing is a thing for Sakura Tsubasa, which is the nickname for her dog, which she accidentally... She said in the story earlier, it's quite ironic in that she accidentally called her dog Ruby Frubies, and that stuck, and then she found out the name of the donation reader was Froob. Nice little irony there. So, this suspicious man that we are chasing, he is a member of the Tojo Clan. He has been sent to spy on Kiryu. As always, whenever Kiryu is in Kamurocho, the Tojo get involved. Now, this is going through Little Asia again. There's probably going to be a fight spawn. That's a bad fight spawn, but I can make this work in my favor. I have to go around the long way to make sure that they don't actually aggro onto me. But if by doing that, if there's a fight spawn here, which there has been quite a few times in my practice runs, then we can just run straight past it. The way that fight aggro works in the Yakuza games is that you can only have one set of enemies aggroed onto you at a time. So because of them being aggroed onto me, if there was a second set of fight spawns, they wouldn't aggro onto me. In previous Yakuza games, we utilized this for getting past certain raid bosses in Yakuza 0 and Yakuza Kiwami. And generally other, like, high-populated area spawn points elsewhere. Doesn't work in the older games. Yakuza 5 and its one corner in Tsukimino that has 5 enemy spawns. Awful. Literally awful. There's a reason we don't do many Yakuza 5 speedruns. It's not because Yakuza 5 is a long run. So, we go to Tojo HQ, currently as Daigo... As the main characters or the main, like, players in the Tojo Clan, so, Daigo, Majima, Saejima, again, are all in jail. Then, 2 people have taken over. Sugai is acting chairman. He is being backed up by his captain, Sonia. You'll be meeting Sonia real soon. You won't see Sugai until one of the last few cutscenes of the game. This is a gang called Justice, spelled Justis. That's on purpose. You'll see why. Actually, you won't, but I'll explain why later, because they're not important now, because we're going to hit them with a sign. That's the end of that. But you'll be seeing Justice again in about... an hour? Yeah, sure, an hour. Why not? Something along those lines. Anyway, we're supposed to be taxiing over to Toto Hospital again, but unfortunately the game wants us to go up here where we get introduced to a little bit of side content called Troubler. Yes, it sounds like a certain website. It's on purpose. Basically, a whole bunch of people will post incidents around Kamurocho, and you answer them. So you might be going to defuse a bomb, or like using a fire extinguisher on a building that's on fire. There's little things like that. We don't utilize it in the run. So Date is over at Toto Hospital. Kiryu is an orphan. Haruka is an orphan. And ever since Haruka got hit by a car and the dad for Haruka's child, Haruto, isn't around, they want to take the child into protective custody and send it to an orphanage. Kiryu, of course, knows all about that life, doesn't want that to happen. So angry Dad Kiryu is about to step on the scene, and he is about to take Haruto by force, and there's only one person, unfortunately, who can stand in Kiryu's way, and he even says that it's not fair that I have to do this. Here comes Akiyama. Poor Akiyama. One of only 2 bosses that you only fight a singular time in this game. This is the nursery, by the way. The baby's... You saw the baby in the crib at the back there. So, poor old Akiyama doesn't know what's coming to him. We're going to be grabbing this bench on the side. We're going to be using a strong attack. We're going to be using a second strong attack. And then we're going to be using a light attack. And then we're going to punch Akiyama when he jumps off the wall. Unfortunately, that's it for Akiyama. It's not the end of Akiyama that you'll see, but you won't be seeing him again in a fight at least. With that, that's the end of that. Kiryu takes Haruto, he goes to the popo next to Serena, and he doesn't know how to feed a kid. He's never looked after a baby before. Along comes Date, who is a dad. Not necessarily a good one, but he's a dad nonetheless. He knows how to look after a kid, at the very least. If we ignore the fact that he let Haruka get kidnapped like 3 times during the events of Yakuza 1, but it's, minor detail. So... Date and the police have managed to recover Haruka's phone, And on it, they have recovered a photograph. And in this photograph, Haruka was over in a little town called Onomichi over in Hiroshima. So we're going to be heading over there now. And this is where the run starts to really deviate from what we used to do, or what we did back at ESA Summer 18. This is where the run, not quite yet, but this is where the run starts to get quite dangerous. Or at least after the next boss that you're going to see. This is where it gets really cool. 6 is one of my favorite Yakuza runs, alongside 0, which I would consider to be probably my magnus opus of speedrunning. Honestly, like, 0 I put, like, 3 good years into it, and we just found a whole bunch of, like, new skips and stuff that have eluded us for years. And also an Out of Bounds that does nothing. Isn't that great? Finally found an Out of Bounds that we had a suspicion existed. It does nothing. So we're going to get 4 attacks up. Combo speed level 1 and heat actions level 1. Combo speed should be pretty obvious. Heat actions do more damage when we use heat actions. And attack is, you know, you could probably imagine that it raises our attack, and it does. Important to note, Kiryu is holding Haruto and a bag. When Kiryu is holding Haruto, he cannot have a attack drink. So we can't have a CC Lemon. Now, this is our first time in town. You're going to recognize this bar from the very first part of the game, and also this guy that we're about to fight. This is officially the first time that we've met this guy. This is Nagumo. Not the first time we've punched him, but timeline-wise, the first time we've punched him. And we're going to use this bike this time. So, we're going to knock him down. I really didn't want to break the scooter because, as you can probably tell, exactly like before, the quickest way is to use the scooter against him. He's going to go into his heat mode now. When an enemy goes into their heat mode, they're going to get extra defense and they're going to get extra attack as well. So you want to lower that HP bar as much as possible before you knock them into this mode. We've got 2 hits left on the bike. We're going to use them with strong attacks because that makes it a little stronger. We're into extreme heat, which we're going to pick up the baseball bat. Baseball bats are kind of weak. It really depends on the Yakuza game. For the most part, we're not going to use them. The only times we use baseball bats in this run are there, because obviously he resets to that point, and also for the very first Nagumo fight because it makes for an easy heat attack. Now is where the run actually differentiates. We're going to climb this ladder. At the top of this ladder, we're going to get a safe key. This safe key is going to be used right now. We're going to go and open a safe down this small alleyway. This safe key only unlocks this safe. There are a couple of safes, 3 in Onomichi, 3 in Kamurocho, which open up and give you different stuff. The Onomichi stuff is the one that we want. So this is going to be the first piece of equipment that we get in the run. It's called the bloody Fundoshi. Don't question why. We're going to equip it and do a little bit of a level up. So you'll see a little bit on the right that my stats became exceptionally different. I need dash attack before I actually do anything else, and then attack. So what this did was this lowered our defense by, I can't remember if this was the 25. Yeah, this was 25. It lowered our defense by 25. It raised our attack by, I want to say it was 30. Nope, not. We don't want a CC Lemon. So CC Lemon is a timer-based drink. However, this is Shoryu beer. Drinking it gives us, it makes us drunk. So we have increased heat generation. We also get full heat immediately. But the more important thing you see at the top left is that there's now a number next to the attack buff. What this means is that we have this attack buff until we go through 24 attacks or change chapters, because by changing chapters you change back to your default state. So any buffs you have get taken away. But this 24 hit buff is going to last us as long as we need, which is amazing because we've got a very hard fight coming up. We also have a bit that is kind of infamous in this game. This might look a little weird. I'm pushing Ino along here for a good reason. This is actually pushing him further and faster. This actually saves a good couple of seconds. So, whilst we push our baby into this man that we've only just met, Josh, if you have any messages, now's a good time.
That was a very strange lead-in, but alright, thank you. So we have a couple more donations. We got a $10 donation from DFN, who says, last donation of the marathon. Good luck to Froob with this run. Do me a favor and drop kick Nagumo, please and thank you. I think you said there was more than one fight, right?
Oh yeah, he's getting drop kicked immediately in the next fight.
All right, I was a little terrified when you immediately queued. I was like, oh no.
Oh no, he's coming back.
Okay, good. Well, you got to drop kick him at some point.
That'll happen.
And then thank you, Charlie C, for $20 donation. And they say, great to be up nice and early to watch some Yakuza. Fantastic series, fantastic runner. Best of luck, Froob.
Hey, thank you, Charlie. So, I'm making DFN as well. Yeah, don't worry, you'll get your dropkick Nagumo wish very soon. All these strats that we're doing now, these were done by Lilygram, who is the current world record holder. She'd be the current world record holder by 13 seconds as of today if my internet didn't die. Thanks for that, internet. So, this section here is quite infamous. We're actually figuring out tech for this as we speak, although not actually immediately as we speak, obviously. This is a time-based segment. This is what we like to call Shake the Baby. Now, you've always been taught, don't shake the baby. We're going to shake the baby. So, speaking of those trouble missions, I'm going to hold my controller up to hopefully have the webcam see how sensitive this gets. There are 4 different ways that you can have Haruto. Is this Rob's? See how I didn't move the controller at all? This is awful. It is based on the gyro. See how little I move that? This is awful. Rob's is to touch the touchpad. Oh, that's another one. This to shake the baby, alright. That's no, that's Upsy Daisy. There you go. He used his arms. Upsy Daisy. Arms in the air, everybody. So, that's going to happen one more time. We figured out, somehow, Lily in the world record run somehow skips out on a second version of this. It is how we figured out it's time-based, even though Lily only did the exact same thing that we've always done in every single run. So, it's time-based, and basically, if you save and then reload the game, you can reset that timer. So, we've figured out that there are 2 points. I don't know them, which is why I'm not doing them in the run, because this is literally brand new tech that we're not even unveiling yet. Where, as long as we save and load at the right places, we won't have to do Shake the Baby. Because despite the fact that a good Shake the Baby is about, I think we said it was about 34 seconds. A load on base PS4, which is what the both of us are running on, is about 24 to 28 seconds. The Yakuza 6's load are a bit inconsistent. And here comes the second one. Usually this one is just shake and swing. Be a good baby. Gyro controls. These are the best. Hey, that's a good pattern. Keep doing that, baby. Look at this happy kid. There you go. Good pattern. That one can have ones other than that. A 139 is the best that you can do. A 138 is really good, though. That's the last time we shake the baby. But, yeah, if you get robs, that's the worst one, because you have to let go of the controller and then rob the touchpad, which takes an extra 5 seconds to actually register that you're doing it, and it's awful. Shake the baby, everybody. This guy has some of the best dodge rate in the entire game because he's drunk. So what we're going to do is going to run past him to make him attack, grab this flower pot, then hit him with a flower pot. As you can see, we still have 23 hits left on our attack buff. So, basically, Kiryu forgot to buy milk, somehow, and he thinks that Haruto basically wants some milk. We went to the barber shop all around town so that we could go and get some milk, and now we're going to go back home now that we've actually got some milk. We have earned some rest. Yes, we have. Gyro controls are great. We are really hoping that there is a PC version of 6 that's going to be announced next week. Hopefully? Because we've known of the existence of one for like 2 years. So, that'd be nice. Because there ain't no gyro in the PC version, will there? That'd be button presses. That'd be the greatest day of our lives, I tell you. We can't wait. So now we have to go back to Kiyomi's bar. You'll see on the minimap on the left-hand side that there is an enemy spawn at the top. When you have Haruto with you, all of the enemy spawns are in fixed locations, and you can just run past them, which is nice. This road that we're running down now, you're going to be seeing this a lot. That yellow car you saw at the end, it's a taxi. You saw me use a taxi earlier. In these parts of Onomichi, we can get what we like to call the God Taxi. The cars that come down the street are completely random, completely RNG, and as you can probably guess where I'm leading with this conversation, one of them can be a taxi. Which, literally, if you get it in a walking segment here, which as you can see is, when you walk with Haruto, you walk slower, because obviously, you know, mind the baby. Then, you literally save like 20 to 30 seconds. It's kind of crazy, depending on where that taxi spawns in. So, we met Nagumo again. Nagumo has told us, you know, back off of Kiyomi, who's the mama of the bar. Nagumo has a thing. Ino talked about it when we were pushing him in the back. Ino has a thing for Kiyomi. There's a love triangle going on, but yeah. Nagumo thinks we're a threat. There are reasons for that. And instead, to make it up to Ino for him getting us a house to stay in whilst we're here, we're going to play for his baseball team. Against Nagumo's baseball team. If you remember my run at ESA Summer 18, I said this was one of the worst to optimize fights in the entire run. Watch this. DFN, you wanted Nagumo kicked in the face, right? Allow me. So, Nagumo has more defense than the other two. One kick gets him straight into his next phase of the heat mode. So everybody's going to get their heat mode now. We're going to run over here. I'm intentionally baiting Nagumo out here. You heard that? He threw a baseball. Matsunaga and Yuta, they don't have any defense at all. I waited intentionally because Nagumo at that point will have built up a guard or a dodge. So by waiting for him to start to attack me, he's getting a bin to the face. That fight, if you remember the ESA Summer 18 run, took about a minute. That was about 10 seconds. Or about 15 seconds if you can count the cutscene as well. That is so much better. And it is so satisfying. I cannot describe how satisfying that fight is now. Which is fantastic. That's one of the hardest to optimize fights in the game, completely optimized by Lily again. So, I was the one who figured out at some point that Shoryu Beer gives you an attack-based value for your hits. I never did 2+2 to have a Shoryu Beer and carry it on over the entire chapter. Instead, I just left it at one point of the run and just stopped thinking. So, this is why multiple runners for a game is really good, because Lily has made a whole bunch of really amazing optimizations, especially to the early game, that enable us to go much faster. We're not fully done with the crazy. Remember when I said this run gets hyper-sadistic compared to the Summer 18 run? This is why. So, at this cutscene point, we've just gone all the way back to the very first fight you saw in the run. That's Masazoe. We're going to kick him in the face in a minute as well. We need to go and rescue Nagumo. We are going to grab a CC Lemon from this vending machine here. CC Lemon is the best attack drink you can get in the game. Ino's going to come along here and say that Nagumo has been taken up to the shrine at the top of the hill. So we're going to go up here. We're going to drink most of it and then hold off on the rest. This allows you to extend it, obviously, for a little while longer. This rock on the right, that's going to become important much later on. Drink the rest of it here, because here is our second safe key, which is just inside somebody's letterbox. No, just pilfer things out of people's letterboxes. Going to open this safe. This is the second of our equipment that we need to take, which is the bloody binding. There's a pattern going on here. Watch the right-hand side. Oh. Notice our attack is already at 171, but did you also see what just happened? Our defense is now at 50. It starts at a base 100 and is now down to 50. We have chopped our defense in half, and we aren't going to supplement it with any HP or defense upgrades at all during the run because that makes it slow. What this means is that by the time we hit endgame, bosses can free-shot us. Not joking about that. There's certain bosses that have infinites. This is where the run starts to get a little crazy. So this is Masazoe. Every single fight in the Yakuza games is a mid-fight QTE. You have to see the mid-fight QTE with some exceptions. Masazoe is an exception to that rule. So Masazoe's mid-fight QTE is to actually revive all of those ads there. So by defeating Masazoe first, he doesn't revive any of the ads, therefore causing you not to see a 10-second cutscene and then not having to fight them again. Overall, it's like a 15 to 20 second save, time save depending on their positioning and also obviously Masazoe's positioning afterwards as well and how much you have left to defeat him. And with that, we saved Nagumo and now we're best buds. Cool. Chapter are we on? 5? 4. Almost. Alright, so. Now that we're best buds with Nagumo and the Hirose family, who you'll be getting introduced to real soon. You've already seen some of them. Here's some more of them. That is Takashira and Yuta behind him. If you saw Yuta and you saw him in the baseball game earlier, you might recognize him if you've seen a certain movie that goes by the name of Battle Royale. He is the main lead in that movie. I've forgotten his name, unfortunately. There's another actor from that movie who you'll be seeing real soon. So again, we're holding on to that CC Lemon for quite a while because we want it to last until a fight after this one, which is quite a way away. And we're going to get into a fight in this bar called Reno, which is also owned by the Hirose family. These guys are quotation marks, drunk civilians quotation marks, and definitely not undercover Yakuza, question mark. Here you want to either use the people as a weapon, or these bar stools, or these stools. You don't want to use those bar stools there, because they have some of the worst attack pattern in the game, and there's a fight at the very end of the game where the only weapon you can get are those bar stools, and it's actually better to not use them. That's how bad they are. Their damage is kind of awful, and their attack pattern is really bad. You'd think that Kiryu would, like, swing with it, but instead he raises it above his head and forces down with it, which is super short range and really not good. So, we're going to go back to the Navy apartment. It's been a long night. I should also mention that both donation incentives for this run, aka that cutscene, and also the Amon fight, both got met. However, I'm sure there are some other donation incentives that you all can submit for, and Josh, if you've got any messages or any idea of what those donation incentives are, that'd be a good time.
I think we've met every single donation incentive except for one.
Interesting.
Yeah, the only one we haven't met is apparently for Super Mario Odyssey. Let me see if I can find it.
Good job, everyone.
Yeah. The ad input display.
Ah, yes, because that's Peking Boo's run. For those who don't know, Peking Boo is going to run Super Mario Odyssey on a DDR dance pad. Not a dance pad, a proper actual DDR set. So, get your donations in for that. He did Splatoon for us back in Movember, not last year, the year before. I had the pleasure to donation read for that. Amazing. The guy is an amazing runner, and that run is going to be phenomenal. So, let's get those donations in.
That was a good shill, but we've already met it. I misread.
Interesting. All right, good job, everybody. That was pretty cool. That was pretty quick.
Okay, good one.
Proud of all of
you. Man, we have lots of bid wars and stuff, but yeah, I can let you know about another thing we're doing as well. Upper Room Games are going to be donating $10 to charity for everyone who beats their speedrun time in their new 3D side-scrolling action arcade game called Wavy the Rocket. And if you want to take your hand at trying to speedrun it and help raise some money for charity, it's currently 20% off for the duration of the marathon. So if you use !Wavy the Rocket in chat, hopefully someone knows how to spell that right, you can get some more information. So yeah. Thanks a lot to them, and yeah, thanks for donating. Keep donating, and I'm looking now. There are actually some bid wars, donations to still meet and stuff. So yeah, get your donations in. Thanks a lot.
Yeah, we've got a lot of, as Josh said as well, we do have a lot of bid wars as well going on over the course of the marathon. I think we got more bid wars than we had incentives actually. So there's definitely things to donate for, and don't forget we are raising money for Save the Children. It's a really good cause. It is obviously our Corona relief event. So yeah, let's get those donations in. So what's just basically happened is that we went over and introduced ourselves formally to the Hirose family. We showed them a picture of Haruka and said, you know, has anybody ever seen this girl? At which point everybody was like, haha, no, definitely not. In a very unconvincing manner, of course. It's a shame. This one usually has one or two... You guard that? How dare you? Usually he doesn't guard that. Usually he walks backwards. I guess guarding is better than walking backwards, because if he walks backwards, you can lose like 5 seconds in just leaving the arena completely. In this part, we're basically, like, we're following a set path. You can beat some of the enemies to go on a different pathway, but the quickest path, ironically enough, is the actual pathway. But basically, we showed them a picture of Haruka, and they know who she is, but they're trying to pretend that they don't know who she is. If you see that sledgehammer on the floor there, this is one of the reasons why Yakuza 6 is a little weird and a little different compared to the other Yakuza games. Yakuza 6 basically populates the world with its weapons beforehand, because you're not allowed to pick up and store weapons like you are in, say, Kiwami 2. So, this is the reason why maps load a little bit weirdly, because sometimes it has to cache in all the items and stuff, obviously. Because anytime you get into a fight, there's a fire extinguisher there, for example. And then there's the sledgehammer again. The shopping district that we just walked through there, there's a gun on the roof. Which is very weird, because you can't take the gun off the roof, because you drop the gun when you go down the ladder, and you can't throw the gun off the roof, and you don't have a fight when you're on the roof, so why is there a gun on the roof? Eternal mysteries. Who knows? We're getting a Shoryu beer here because it's the closest attack drink that we can get, because, hey, surprise, here comes a fight. So, we're coming to meet with some more of the Hirose family. We want to apologize to Matsunaga for the events of yesterday in the bar. They're clearing up the place still. Matsunaga is working on a model ship of the Yamato. Definitely not an important plot point. So, Takashira and Yuta. Takashira has more defense than Yuta, so try and hit him first. Not hard. He usually walks towards you so you can hit him with the sword first. Don't mess up this QTE. There is an angle where you can actually hit these two at the same time. It's been a very long time since I've hit that angle. Yup. That's the angle. Perfect. I just wanted to bait you all and just, you know, make it look impressive, that's all. So, Matsunaga's gone to take the fall for the fight with Masazoe and saving Nagumo. As you can probably tell, he's coming back. So what we're going to do is going to go over here and we're going to grab a CC Lemon because we need an attack buff for length this time. Oh, hey, there's a bunch of dudes. That's where the trigger is there, so that's why we wait a second. Once again, like Masazoe 1, take out Masazoe first. I'm going to introduce you now to the legendary Yakuza speedrun strats that we like to call bike strats. Take this bike, hit him with a bike. Do it again. Again, don't take care of too many enemies here, because otherwise Masazoe will respawn them after his mid-fight QTE. But you can take care of a couple of them. That's why I used the last hit of the bike, because obviously Masazoe only had one hit left. Sometimes I'll go and grab flower pots to try and hit you with, and if they hit you with flower pots, it's really annoying. That guy in the red is Koshimizu. You'll see him later. He's part of the Yomei Alliance. You'll see him real soon. Actually, not real soon. About now. So, we're going to go back to the Navy apartments where Kiyomi is going to take Haruto. We managed to get everybody off the hook, because Koshimizu knows who Kiryu is. I almost taxied to the wrong place. That would have been bad. I've got to be a little careful about my money in this run, considering I bought more bentos than I usually do. For once, Yakuza 6 is not a Yakuza run that requires a lot of money. A lot of the Yakuza runs do require money in some capacity. In Yakuza 0, we have a very strict set of abilities that we get for Kiryu that require you not to lose any money before Chapter 13. Yakuza Kiwami requires you to have a certain amount of money, 300,000 yen, during the main story to progress it. Yakuza Kiwami 2 requires you to have more, lots more, especially if you want to save like 5 minutes. Yakuza 3 requires you to have money for 13 guns. Don't ask. Yakuza 4 requires you to have money for guns and knives, as you do. Yakuza 5 doesn't need money, and this one only needs money for the bento, which is nice. Yakuza 5 you do need money for taxiing, but it's not that much of a problem unless you're playing as a certain character. Thanks. Thanks, Shinada. So, you can see that we're going to rush to the shopping district here. We're going to be doing a side thing here, unfortunately. Hey, it's Justice again! So I said a little earlier that we were going to deal with these guys earlier. We're going to do a drop kick. That's all you have to do. If you make sure you run around, you can actually get the correct angle and take them both out at the same time. Previously, we used to use a sign to take care of them, but at this point, because of the extra stuff that we've got, we're a little more stronger. I actually think we probably could have done that 2 years ago, but I just never tried. This is Joe. We in the Yakuza 6 speedrunning scene hate Joe, because Joe interrupts our time twice. This is the first time. Joe is introducing a brand new minigame, first introduced in Yakuza 6. This is called the Clan Creator. I actually quite like this minigame, but it does take you out of the time in the run, which is a little unfortunate. So, you can basically see we have a bunch of guys with us, and they have a bunch of guys. You can see that they're laid out like this. This is kind of like a top-down strategy, not a tower defense. Kiwami 2's is more of a tower defense. What we're going to do is, I did not want to bring you out first, but that's fine. We're going to bring out our leaders first. This guy has a heal. You can see that he has a skill above him, Essence of Healing. I wanted the other guy to come out first because he's a bit more durable. We want to make sure this guy comes here because we want this guy in the green tank top to move away from the guy in the back. The guy in the back is the main boss of this part. We basically need Joe and his skill, the ultimate drop kick, to drop kick him in the face. Like so. Because watch his HP. Goes down to 1. Hopefully Joe finishes him off. I was lucky because Joe, for the last couple of runs that I've attempted to do, has decided not to finish that guy off. Very frustrating. Thanks, Joe. Ugh. There's nothing worse than a lukewarm cup of tea. Ugh. So, that guy's a bit of a sore loser, and some of the enemies that you can actually find in the Clan Creator are going to join him in this next battle. Basically, as you progress the Clan Creator, you can get different enemies. The guy on the left is the normal unit, the guy on the right is like a tanky build. The two at the back have guns, and you can tell where this is going. It's one of the only times we actually use guns in the run. Guns are good. Guns are very good. But unfortunately, because obviously, as we said, weapons get populated in the world before you actually go to that fighting arena. Unless that fighting arena has a gun in it, which none of the ones in the speedrun do apart from that guy holding one right there, you don't use guns. But with that, we have now saved, I don't remember if it's Joe's sister or Joe's friend's sister or someone, but we've saved them from this team of New Japan pro wrestlers that you're going to see very briefly, with the likes of Okada, the Rainmaker down the bottom, Yano Toru. If you're a wrestling fan, you'll recognize the silhouettes of some of them. You actually get to fight them in this game. It's super cool. They have their theme songs, so if you really want to fight some of the NJPW, then buy this game. It's good. Buy this game anyway. The Yakuza series is amazing. But we are now done with side stuff for now. We're going to head back into the main story, and we're about to get our next big set of level ups. This is going to be the last of our attack-based level ups in the attack tree. This will basically enable us with collateral damage and charge attack to do a whole bunch of damage. We're going to get Vending Machine Drink up to level 2. What this does is CC Lemon to begin with gives you a attack buff of a base 40%, I believe. Every increase of boost vending machine level gives you an extra 10% on top of that, and also extends the duration of any vending machine drinks. This is a sub-story based on the Girl Who Leapt Through Time anime movie. Don't accept this. You accept this, you lose a minute and a half. Don't accept it. But a couple of the attacks we got there, charge attack you'll see later, we use that for a couple of bosses. Collateral is more important at this stage. Also, if you remember a certain sub-story in Yakuza 0, all I'll say about that man on the right is Munan Chohept Onast. So we're just going to grab a CC lemon, and we're going to go up to the top of the ropeway. Collateral that we got does more damage to enemies after the first enemy that you hit. It basically means that in Yakuza 6, throwing enemies and throwing weapons is already stupidly strong, and this just makes it even stronger. Throwing enemies is actually a viable strat in this when it's not a viable strat in the vast majority of Yakuza speedruns. But we're going to meet Kiyomi up here, and good old Sonia, who you haven't properly met yet, comes along and takes the Mama away to an inn, and Nagumo is going to show off his shocked face, and we're going to go after her and rescue her with our next big set piece. And you're going to see, if you remember when I said earlier, if you've ever seen the movie Battle Royale, or some other certain popular Japanese movies, you're about to see a very familiar face. There's a very famous Japanese actor, director as well, when eventually it loads. Goes by the name, on the right hand side there, now in front of your screen, by the name of Beat Takeshi. Beat Takeshi. You'll see him later. You'll be seeing him later. But we're going to start with this set piece now. At the beginning here, we're just going to basically plow into a whole bunch of enemies. You'll basically see me use a few throwing moves and then a few kicks and stuff. In this time, Josh, if you've got any messages to read now, it'd be a great time.
Alright, thanks a lot. Just like to let you know what we're raising money for this event. I mean, it's in the name. It's ESA Corona Relief. We're actually raising money for the Save the Children's Emergency Corona Relief Fund. So yeah, during the struggle against the coronavirus, Save the Children is strengthening safety nets for families in need. They're providing essential items like food and soap, and giving cash grants to struggling families to buy crucial supplies for their children. Yeah, as you can imagine, hitting the ones already in need are now even more in need right now. It's pretty crazy. So yeah, so they Save the Children started their emergency Corona Relief Fund, which is what we're raising money for. So yeah, thanks a lot for all your donations and stuff. Keep them coming in, and we'll keep raising money. Thanks.
Yeah, thank you very much. It's definitely for a good cause. So let's get those donations rolling. Basically, if you're looking at this, what we need to do is we need to go into every single room, because every single room has a secondary follow-up trigger inside of it. I actually did those rooms perfectly, because usually you have one enemy left over, which you can usually leave to Nagumo. Provided it's not what we like to call a large lad. So we're going to leave that guy to Nagumo, because he's a normal enemy. This is what we call a large lad. He is larger than the rest. The reason why we dislike large lads is because they like to drop kick. They've been doing this since the very beginning of the series, and they are the bane of Yakuza runners everywhere. So you can see that this guy didn't go down in one hit, whereas the last large lad did, because we connected with him with, I believe it was an object actually, not an actual enemy. Nope. And in true traditional Yakuza fashion, the quickest way to enter a room is... This is why the chair is better than the trash can. The quickest way to enter a room is obviously, of course, but... Hitbox is in the Dragon Engine. Thumbs up. Quickest way to get through into a room is to punch the door, because of course it is. I've never seen that happen before. We had to get one of those in. So, Yuta, Takashira, and Matanaga are going to deal with this guy, while us and Nagumo are going to carry on. We're going to go and find where Sonia is. It'd be nice to take one of these lamps with us, but no. Unfortunately, can't. When you open the door, you drop it, so it's a shame. Some weird ruling when it comes to the weaponry in 6, but I adore this game so much. So, I'm fairly certain, this might be a coincidence, but this scene might be a nice cheeky little reference to Ryuga Gotoku Ishin, which is the Japan-only release of Yakuza Ishin, which features a very famous bathhouse scene that is absolutely phenomenal. Another amazing game. That's not so good. So he's going for a swim. So, in this fight, that guy in the middle, he has a HP bar. You know what to do with guys with HP bars, you focus them first. So we're going to kick him, we're going to go into that extreme heat, and we're going to try and hit him with the extreme heat itself. That way he will go down. We can cancel out that by doing nothing, making it a little faster. And then for everybody else, we're going to grab somebody and then throw them towards the vast majority of the enemies. If only I hit that kick. Hello? Cool. Good hitboxes. That was almost very good. That was almost insanely good until I whiffed 3 hits at the end there. Nagumo does a dumb. Prepare to hear that a lot in this game. Nagumo walks into the sauna, realizes it's too hot, and takes off the thing that is protecting his face from being seen, and Somia's in the sauna. Now, note that Sonia is a member of the Tojo Clan and doesn't have any traditional Yakuza ink. It ties into Sonia's kind of backstory in that he doesn't see like the old-fashioned way that the Yakuza have to show ink to show power, and he feels like the Yakuza of today are more business-like, but also strong, of course. So in this room, we're going to grab this plant. There's 3 large lads that, again, you don't want the large lads to do anything, so we're going to hit them. Hit the guy with the HP bar. Take care of them. Try and grab this, not the lamp. The lamp is a no. The lamp's okay, but it doesn't have, as you can see, it's a lot slower, and it doesn't have the width that the house plant is. House plant is great. They should have that guy at the end, hopefully. Nice. So this is a little bit weird. There's a trigger for this door coming up that sometimes doesn't load in. Again, another one of the weird parts of... Some of the weird parts of the Dragon Engine in that sometimes triggers don't load. There's an infamous one in K2 that if you go too fast, like you take care of an enemy set too fast, the game soft locks. There's a soft lock at the end of this, which we haven't fully figured out either, but I'm fairly certain I know what it is, so I'm going to be taking steps to not accidentally hit it. And I believe it's again going too fast for the trigger to actually spawn in after a certain cutscene. Because that would make sense. We're just going to hit Sonia with this lamp. Grab the chair. Wall up Sonia. I want to not break this sofa if possible, and Somia's was being nice. Actually, did he drop his guard at the end there? That's interesting. We definitely did a little bit more damage there, which we shouldn't have done. Because we shouldn't have pushed him into his second phase until we hit him. He has a couple of iframes at the start of his second phase. A lot of the bosses do. Again, I was trying to hold off to actually like let him attack first so I wouldn't hit his guard. If we go into extreme heat, again, we use all of the heavy furniture that's around, and that's the end of Sonia. So if you manage to... A lot of Yakuza 6 is about reacting, because obviously there's a lot of... The way that the Dragon Engine works, there's a lot of opportunities where the enemies will not go the same way each time. With the old engine, up to a certain degree, you can kind of manipulate the AI into doing what you want them to do, like going to a certain place at the start of the fight, knocking them in a certain direction. The Dragon Engine has ragdolls, and those ragdolls cause people to go everywhere. You might see at some point one body randomly flying, and I wish I was joking, but I'm not, and I hope it happens. But essentially it's the same for fights as well, in that with these two-handed weapons, which are obviously the strongest weapons that you can utilize in the game, you're going to be knocking enemies about, like, quite often across the entirety of, like, the actual fighting arena. So you want to try and, like, aim them towards walls and stuff, because then you can bounce them off the walls, and you can have them basically in the position that you want them. But the problem with that fight there, for instance, is that Sonia was right next to one of the other sofas, which usually we utilize in the second phase of the fight because of how you position him to lead into that fight. So, Kiyomi brings along Haruto, and we have a conversation with everybody here. They acknowledge that, you know, they know who Haruka was, and they have their suspicions on who the father is. And wouldn't you know it, he's back in Kamurocho. So we're going to head back to Kamurocho. So again, as always, we're going to taxi over there. Despite the quite long load times from going from a taxi to the apartment, it is still quicker just to get a taxi to go over here. Plus, half the time when you do this, you will land in a cutscene trigger. You won't this time, because guess what? It's Joe. Joe says the magic words of, hey, if you ever go to Kamurocho, maybe we should hang out sometime. Yeah, great. Guess what? We're back in Kamurocho. So, we're going to be getting our next big set of level ups here. This is going to be more towards the extreme heat side of things. One very important aspect of extreme heat that hopefully won't get shown off in the run, but will get shown off in the bonus fight, hopefully not again, is the fact that in extreme heat, as long as your extreme heat is active, you do not die. You go down to 1 HP, and you will not die. That is going to be vital for the bonus fight that we're doing after the run. So what we're going to do now is we're going to boost our heat gauge up to 130. This will enable us to get everything that we need to get for heat moves and stuff. Nope, go over to heat actions. We want heat rush for now, and then everything else goes into attack. Nice. Now we're going to head over to Cafe Alps. We're looking for Yuta's friend Tatakawa. He is apparently a host over here in Kamurocho, and we've had some dealings with some hosts in the past. We have some good host friends, and if ever you have any wondering about, you know, about any hosts in Kamurocho, you go to the people who know it all, which is Kazuki and Yuya of Stardust, who have been in the series since the original Yakuza. Unfortunately, this is the first time that Nagumo and Yuta have ever been in a big city, and it kind of shows. They're not prepared at all. So we're just chilling out at a cafe, buying sundaes and stuff. We're going to go over to the convenience store here, where Yuta unfortunately needs to use the loo and doesn't understand that the rules are different here than they are in the countryside. So just a little bit of faff here, and then we're going to go over to Stardust. Great facial expressions. So this is Stardust. You will recognize this club if you played any of the previous Yakuza games. Under new management, we find Yuya, who's become an office worker, and he treats I don't know if we treat him or he treats us to Kanrai. Say hello to the new management. This is Jong-gi Han. I love this lad. He is fabulous. He is the new owner of Stardust, and more importantly, he is a member of the Jingwon Mafia. If you've ever played Yakuza 2, you'll know exactly who the Jingwon Mafia are. The exact same Jingwon Mafia. And as one of the loading screens so rightfully points out, the Jingwon never forgive, and the Jingwon never forget. Which, considering Kiryu has taken out the Jingwon Mafia in the past, you can probably imagine that they're not too happy. But Jong-gi Han is extending, I'm not sure if olive branch is the right word, but an invitation to Stardust, where he's made some renovations. I've got to be careful with my sprint here because the next trigger is here. And again, here come some members of the Jingwon Mafia, set up as a trap by Jong-gi Han. So, again, bike strats are the best kind of strats. Go over here and grab a bike. That guy walked over quite quickly, so I had to use a quick attack there. Ideally, you want to take care of the 3 guys with HP bars. If not, grabbing them, obviously, as you can see, does a metric ton of damage. It won't take care of the guys with the HP bars. Usually, mini-bosses like that will just get back on their feet again. That's where you want to try and take care of them with weapons. And then for the majority of enemies, we just want to throw them, or obviously just do a running kick like that. For some reason, as well as obviously throws being stupidly overpowered, so is the dash kick. Not quite sure why, but not complaining. So we're going to go to Stardust now, where Jong-gi Han is. We're going back there. And you're going to see the renovations that Jong-gi Han has done to the place. He has renovated the basement, turned it into a masquerade club, and has installed the one thing that every single masquerade club that is underground, a cabaret club, needs: a wrestling ring. I don't know why either. However, we need to get the info about where Tatakawa is out of him. Yuta steps up, and unfortunately, Jong-gi Han is too much of a capable fighter, so guess what? It's our turn. This is one of the only fights that doesn't have weapons in it, so listen to this amazing fight theme, by the way. Best in the game. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Hit with a strong. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Out. Again, as I said earlier, you have to see every mid-fight QT, so you can see that Jong-gi Han obviously is still alive. At the start of this, he's going to block, guard, or hit us. So we're going to run around and then kick him. He dodged. Ragdoll physics. That's not the end of Jong-gi Han and his amazing theme. You'll hear it again at some point soon. Jong-gi Han tells us where Tatakawa is living, so we're going to go over there. So, Josh, if you've got any messages, now is a great time.
Perfect. I was about to ask. You keep doing that. That's amazing. We got a $19.99 donation from Anonymous, who just says, thanks for spreading the awareness of one of the greatest video game series, smiley face. So yeah, thanks for that. And thank you, Weber, for the $20 donation, who says, hello, Froob, ESA, and everyone else. Great and entertaining run so far. Since you are fighting Amon, could you please ask him why my Amazon delivery is taking so long? I don't get it, but you do, apparently.
Oh, you'll find out.
All right. And they put the $20 to the Crash Team Racing 80% warpless game-breaking wrong warp incentive, which is one of the few ones we haven't met yet, and now it's only $10 away. So if we meet that, we will be going to the battle mode and showing how you can utterly destroy the game and essentially rewrite the code so you can go any place you wish. I've seen this, and it's pretty ridiculous. So yeah, $10 more to meet that. And yeah, all your donations are going towards Save the Children's Emergency Coronavirus Fund. So thank you a lot.
That sounds pretty amazing. Yes, thank you, Weber. You'll see about the Amazon delivery jokes later on. Joe Amon, who is the super boss at the end of the game, he has changed professions in the last couple of years. Sometimes he has laser cannons. Sometimes he becomes an Amazon delivery driver. You'll see what I mean. So, thank you both for the donations. Appreciate that. Yes, I love the Yakuza series. If that's one of the things that is unfortunate about the Yakuza speedruns, is the fact that, one, we skip through the vast majority of the story, obviously, because it's a speedrun, and two, we don't get to see that much of the side content. If you want to see us do some of the side content, once the event is over, go back into ESA's VODs and go and find the Yakuza Kiwami $20% from last summer, where we go through quite a few of the side optional activities, and you even get a few cameos, including from Josh himself at the start. So, basically, we found Tatakawa. Tatakawa's dead. We don't know why. We have a suspicion as to who. So, Nagumo and Yuta have gone back to New Serena because they are mourning, obviously, the fact that we've just found the dead body of their friend. That's an interesting fight spawn. That's actually one of the good ones. This fight spawn right here, you saw it there very briefly, how it wasn't there. That fight spawn can actually glitch out of existence. And it can be standing in front of the taxi. At that point, it is completely random whether you get into the fight or you get into the taxi. You can despawn with a vending machine on the way, which I have begun sometimes doing because taking the time loss to that fight isn't worth it. But again, it's one of those weird things, and guess what? Joe's back. Why? Joe says, hey, Kiryu, come do the clan crate in Kamurocho. This is our answer to doing the clan crate in Kamurocho. We're jumping out the cafe window. This is a slightly longer way to get out of the cafe, but there are no fight spawns this way. And that is important. So, despite the fact that it is not the quickest way, it's slower by a few seconds, it does also enable us to get this CC Lemon a little quicker and drink it a little quicker, so it balances things out a little bit. And with that, we don't have to deal with Joe ever again. Thanks, Joe. So, if ever we want some information in Kamurocho, you go to the florist, right? No, he's not in Yakuza 6. Instead, we're going back to Akiyama. So, after we kind of led the Saio Triad to Akiyama's hiding spot earlier, let's do it again. We're going to go and see if Akiyama is still hiding out in the sewer, which, considering again that we showed them where his hiding spot is, he's probably not down there, but we're going to go down there anyway. You can probably guess that he's already not down there, but we're still going to go over there anyway. As you can see as well, on one of the nice improvements to the Dragon Engine is the sheer vast amount of taxi spots you get. In the older Yakuza games, aka 3, 4, I think 5 as well, although 5 did increase them, you only have access to like 2 or 3 taxi points. And half the time they're not even in useful places. So, the nice thing about the Dragon Engine... Oh yeah, the Saio Triad here, by the way. The nice thing about the Dragon Engine is it gives you like 9 to 10 different taxi points per game and even increases them in the next couple of games. There's literally a taxi point for every spot you could ever want in each game. Bar Judgment. Oh, don't walk away. Oh, come on. Don't do that. Ideally here you want to do a 2-hit on them rather than 3. And the most optimal is 1, but again, their AI is quite unpredictable. I kind of knew they were going to split up there because I got in between the 2 of them, so 1 was always going to go one way and 1 was always going to go the other way. So we found the homeless man we gave the bento to earlier. He says that he's going to get into contact with Akiyama for us. We're going to now go this way, even though the quicker way is the other way. We can't go the other way because for some reason the Saio Triad have blocked it with barrels and stuff. Don't know why. It's most likely because the game wants us to load in this telephone call, which you can only get here. You can't go along this is the other reason why people think that Yakuza 6 is a bit rushed, is that the top half of the map, which is the entirety of the hotel district, and the far northeast, which is the champion district, aren't available in Yakuza 6. So you cannot avoid this story trigger at all, which is why we think that they block off, obviously, the manhole cover. The interesting thing is that there are a couple of Yakuza games where you can skip past the story trigger. Yakuza 4 is one of them, where there is a story trigger before you have to run around Kamurocho for on a set path with no fights for literally 9 minutes, I think it was. Might be wrong, it's 7, 8, or 9. Yeah, it's great. We were hoping that by skipping a story trigger, we'd be able to skip past that entire walk, but unfortunately not. The way the Yakuza games are structured is that you have to see the preceding objective before you can get to the next one, which is probably why they soft lock if you accidentally go too fast for the actual trigger itself in some situations. Bike strats, by the way. It's probably the reason why in Yakuza 0 and Newly Found Out of Bounds, unfortunately doesn't do anything. We found a way... The interesting thing is, and we don't know if this is based on all of the Yakuza games, but in Yakuza 0 especially, there are 2 different maps. So, you basically, if you think of Kamurocho and Onomichi here, in Yakuza 0 there is Kamurocho and Sotenbori. And Sotenbori's map is actually either on top or below Kamurocho, and fits neatly inside of it. If you manage to glitch out with a certain legendary raid boss, and you go into his fight, and you leave that fight, and you go to Kamurocho as the next thing that you do, so basically you switch characters via the main menu, you can actually go out of bounds in Kamurocho in that area where you were in Sotenbori. So it's a little weird. We can basically go in buildings, but we found nothing to be able to utilize it with, sadly, apart from one weird fight spawn outside of the map. It's just there. There's no reason for it. But it's pretty cool. We always had the impression that there might have been an OOB, but none of us were confident in it. The only Yakuza that has proper out-of-bounds strats, to its credit, is the original Yakuza 1, where you can take one of the enemies. If you remember Valer running Yakuza Kiwami 2 months ago for ESA Together, the Akai brothers in Hotel Deborah now, that's where we are now, but in Club Deborah, the boss there, you can actually despawn one of them by throwing them through the wall. Yeah, it's great. Yeah, it's great. You just literally throw it through the wall. But that also requires you to actually speedrun Yakuza OG1, which, bless, poor Tapioca and Zanosu have been trying to get people to speedrun those games for quite some time. Bless. I might do, not a guarantee, I might do runs of HD 1 and 2 at some point. I think I actually did promise that I would. I have a whole list of promises that I have to keep at some point. Including another run of Yakuza Ishin at some point. But unfortunately, those are the only out of bounds that are available to us. So what we're going to do now is we're going to get some CC Lemon, because hey, surprise, surprise, we're coming up on a rather long set piece. This is one of the longer chapters in the game because of this set piece outside of the penultimate 2 chapters. Gonna drink it before we get to the taxi. Nice timing on that. Anytime you get close to a confirmation, aka like a person to talk to, or like a taxi or a door or something like that, you can't finish your drink. Kiryu basically puts it away and overrides that drink with the hitbox of the confirmation. You cannot take drinks via taxis, and you'll have seen that earlier when we had the running against the unknown Tojo Clan guy back in chapter 2, we were able to take the sprint drink through that one cutscene. Again, that's one of a few exceptions to the rules, because again, most cutscenes are supposed to erase your drinks completely, and that one doesn't. So we met back up with Akiyama. Okay, Akiyama's running ahead, that's fine. Sometimes you can get in front of Akiyama here, and he will actually push you through that narrow alleyway. It's just important that you get yourself and Akiyama to this point as fast as possible, because that's when the actual next trigger for this part starts. And we're now in Little Asia. We are going to go and find our old friend, Ed. Basically, Akiyama knows of a way to get into Little Asia. We're in a building next door to it. And we are stealthing it up. So, as you can see, we're up against an invisible barrier that is Akiyama. And we're going to walk past Akiyama right there. And we have slightly new strats for this part since the last time we did this run 2 years ago. This is the chef. Aptly named because he's a chef. So, you might remember at Summer 18 when we ran this, you have to wait for Akiyama to dab. Dabbing is not allowed. Not anymore. No more dabbing. Instead, what we're going to do is we're just going to go and fight the chef. Because, surprise, surprise, fighting the chef is actually faster. Would you believe it? So, we're going to hopefully have him come around here, because that'll make it a little quicker. No, he's walking away. Cool. That can happen. But with this, we should be able to... No, I was hoping for the swing, the wide swing, because I could have broken the boxes there. And then we would have been able to run through there, rather than having to walk all the way around. You want to be as close to this door as possible whenever you finish one of these segments, because obviously, as you can see here, you walk during most of these segments after you're finished with the fight. So if I was able to break down those shelves, I would have been able to just walk through. It's a little finicky again, because he was on the floor, I did the down attack instead. I should have waited a second. Akiyama says don't let them find you and get seen immediately. Charge kick. That's your first instance of a charge kick. Very, very strong. I want that sword. Chef's back. I'm going to run past him. Oh, we actually took out the other guy as well. And you can see that... Oh, that's bad. The other one fell over here, right? Doesn't matter. I'll take this. Thank you. You don't want the chef to be able to basically do his attacks. The chef's quite annoying. He's got a weapon. So, as you saw, enemies with weapons are able to block your weapons. No exceptions. Well, no exceptions in this game. If you're in a previous Yakuza game, some weapons can have their guard broken by electric weapons, but that's few and far between. I think that might be a special ruling for K2? I don't remember. But for the most part, if an enemy is holding a weapon, they can basically block anything you throw at them. So we've now jumped into a window of the building, the main building of Little Asia, which is a restaurant. This is where Ed basically hangs out. And you want to go fast here for your attack buff, because guess who's back again? It's the chef. So I'm going to start with a charge kick, keep him on the floor, do half his HP and damage. I wanted the chair, but this is fine. As long as you just have something that knocks him on the ground, it then stuns him, takes out the chef. Again, you don't want the chef to be able to do his full move repertoire, because he will keep you down. With this, Akiyama's going to lower this rope ladder to let Yuta and Nagumo up. I don't know why they didn't follow us in the first place, honestly. I know it's supposed to be a stealth mission, but it's fine. And yeah, we're just going to go into the actual restaurant itself. And whilst we do that, Josh, if you've got anything to say, now is a perfect time.
Excellent. All right. Just like to remind you all what we're raising money for. We're raising money for the Save the Children Emergency Coronavirus Fund. During the pandemic, obviously children are pretty badly affected in all parts of the world. But Save the Children is trying to ensure that children can keep playing despite lockdowns and other social distancing measures during the coronavirus pandemic. They create virtual solutions and share ideas for how to keep kids active. So obviously, during all the schools shortages and stuff, all the kids can't see our friends anymore and stuff like that. Or I can't see my friends anymore. But yeah, it's not the best ideal for children and stuff. So Save the Children's trying to help everyone around the world, and we're trying to help them help children around the world. So please get your donations in for this great cause, this emergency cause. And yeah, thank you for all the donations we've had so far.
Yes, thank you everybody. Thank you for checking this out as well. We'll be carrying on for another 2 days, so plenty of really cool runs coming up. So we dealt with these guys, and guess what? Here's Ed. I absolutely love this lad. You get to hear more of his battle theme now. Look at this fabulous man. So he has a karambit knife. He is very skilled with it. We're going to teach Ed to have a fear of chairs. One chair hit. He actually guarded for once. Ooh, that doesn't happen very often. And this is what I mean about having to react, because usually you have a chair after this move right here so that you can use it as a hit against him next. He does have a couple of moments of iframes, so I have time to go and get a fresh chair, which thankfully is one right behind me. Or I'll grab that one instead. Ed's now going to charge us. We're going to wait so that he doesn't grab us mid-swing. And again, 1 HP. Final phase. Right, so everybody joins us. Wait a second again. Boop. Just like earlier. Just literally one hit to finish off Ed's final phase. That's unfortunate. Now, I'm sure you've noticed during this fight, he's alive! I'm sure you've noticed he's alive. I haven't. That's news to me. So you've probably noticed in this fight, my health's starting to get a little low. My health is starting to get a wee bit low, and unlike most Yakuza games, you don't get healed between chapters. This set piece is the start of where our new strategy really starts to hurt. So again, for those who didn't see it earlier, the difference between the run that we did at ESA Summer 18 and to now is that we utilized two pieces of equipment, the Bloody Fundoshi and the Bloody Binding. Both of those put together raise our attack by 55 over the soft cap maximum of 200, gives us extra heat gain generation for our extreme heat, but lowers our defense from base 100 to 50. We don't get anything to supplement that, which means that we can die in literally 3 hits. This run likes to keep you on your toes, and I genuinely love it. So I gotta remember the plot here, because it's very important. This is probably one of the most pivotal points in the early game. When we get to the bottom of Little Asia there, Masazoe turns up. Good old Masazoe. Don't know why he's here. He is talking with Big Lo, who is the leader of the Saio Triad. and they speak in Chinese, which, interestingly enough, Yuta understands, because Tatakawa, who, as we know, is dead at this point, taught Yuta Chinese. And Bigelow spoke with one word, Heihaisi.
No.
Heihaisi is a real thing, where there was only the... Oh, I should level up here, actually. I have forgotten, because I'm silly. I want you. I don't have enough for that. That's fine. And attack. When in doubt, pump it all into attack. So Heihaisi is basically the one-child birth rule, and that term is going to become very important in the next couple of chapters. But basically, we want to have a conversation with Bigelow. Somehow Somia's found out. Here comes Sonia. I'm missing a tiny bit of experience, which is a little worrying. Experience at the end of fights is determined by the way that you end the fight. I didn't do the quick skill. There you go. So, for some reason, this vending machine doesn't load properly as soon as you touch it. However, because of this, you can actually run away from that vending machine and then have the drink teleport to you. This is the one and only time we taxi to East Taihai Boulevard. One of the only times you don't taxi to Tenkaichi Street or Pink Street, which is great, because, like, again, you have this giant list of taxi points and you only use, like, 3 of them.
You right if I butt in a second?
Yeah, go right ahead.
Okay, we got a massive $200 donation from Tolga, who says, "Thank you for everything you're doing. You guys are awesome. Stay safe." And I think I speak from everyone when I say we stay inside and play video games. I think we're all staying as safe as we can. But yeah, thank you a lot, Tolga, for $200 that is going to Save the Children coronavirus funds. So yeah, thank you a lot.
It's alright. I think I also almost made that same mistake with pounds earlier in a shift. But yeah, thank you so very much. And yes, we definitely stay in, considering the fact that all you can see on my webcam, it seems, is the blinding light of the sun coming in from beneath my... It happened! I've been saying that on stream ages, where you have to be very careful about... Thank you, Kiryu. You have to be very careful when trying to break this wall, because for some reason the sledgehammer can hit that light and break instantly. But you can see is the sun breaking in from beneath my curtains. The reason why they're not open is because that's all you'd see is the sun going on my webcam, because it's literally right there. Say hello to Hangman. No, we don't know why either. So, this place is Shangri-La. This is another lovely throwback to OG Yakuza 1 and 2, where at the events of Yakuza 1, we were in here, searching for our foster father, Kazuma, and a certain Majima Goro may have taken a bulldozer to the place. And then the place got even more dilapidated during the events of Yakuza 2. And this is the first time you go back here since, and for some reason... there's Hangman, who lives at the bottom of Shangri-La, and he's in that outfit, and there's no lore to Hangman. There's a second Hangman. They added Hangman to Kiwami 2, and there's Red Man. It's Hangman, but he's red. We assume it's his brother. Hangman's also in another Yakuza game that's actually a spin-off. Don't know why, but he likes to move around Kamurocho a bit, it seems. So, Hangman is the most dangerous enemy we're going to come across for quite a while. Hangman is the first of the enemies who can free-shot us and also has an infinite combo. Don't take Hangman lightly. He's genuinely dangerous. I'm going to make it look like he's easy to beat, because obviously with the power of CC Lemon and obviously with the attack buffs that we've got, we can take him out in like 2 barrel hits or a couple of sledgehammer hits. But Hangman is dangerous. You get all of them? Nope. If you get the right angle here, and it's very hard, it's very precise, you can take care of all 4 of those guys in one kick, because you take out the first 2, and then the bodies of those first 2 have a domino effect and hit the other 2, where collateral that we got earlier actually takes out the other 2 enemies. Listen, we routed this, and it took us a long time to route this. Just the effects of collateral and hitting enemies into enemies. Like, there's real science and numbers behind this, but the numbers aren't written down because we just did it in our heads. It's phenomenal. Like, the amount of work that we've put into the Yakuza series for speedrunning is immense. We've had so many new runners lately that it's great. The Yakuza speedrun community is growing. And you know what I have been forgetting to say? For the last, like, 3 or 4 events, we finally have a speedrun Discord for the Yakuza speedrun scene. It's a miracle. There's one point, myself and... didn't want to use the heat move, but that takes him out. That's fine. At one point, myself and Tapioca kept saying to each other, you know, one of us will set up a speedrun community for it one day. One day. It turned into like a year or 2. And we finally did it towards the new year this year. So, if you want to learn any of the wonderful Yakuza speedruns, be it from 0 to Like a Dragon, which is currently only out in Japan, we have places set up to learn all of those. Every Yakuza run, and this is one of the nice things about the Yakuza speedruns, every Yakuza run is completely different. So, whilst obviously we utilize vending machines a lot in this, and it's obviously more of a brawler and obviously weapon-based, Yakuza 0 is more of a brawler-based speedrun. OG Yakuza 1 is more of an RNG speedrun. I love you, Tap. I don't know how you run that game. Yakuza 2 OG is a little bit nicer. Kiwami changes depending on... a lot of them change depending on any percent on New Game Plus. But the any percent of Yakuza Kiwami is interesting because it's the only... it's the only Yakuza that has consistent glitches to its fight, where you can actually get a silly... thanks, Sonia! You actually get a silly attack buff based on beast form, which shouldn't work, but does. So that's cool. Kiwami 2, if you saw the $20%, is a completely weapon-based run, considering you can store weapons and take them out anytime. Yakuza 3 is guns. You buy 13 revolvers and shoot everything. It also includes mandatory gambling that has a 33% chance of ending the run 2 hours in. Unless you're lucky in marathon runs like I am. You have Yakuza 4 that also utilizes gambling and has a 33% chance of surviving. We don't talk about Yakuza 4's run. You have Yakuza 5 run, which is long and has about an hour and a half of just running around at one point. That's Yakuza 5. We don't know about Like a Dragon yet, because we've only got a couple of Japanese runners who have obviously done that. So that scene should explode soon as well. We're going to use Extreme Heat on Sonia because he tanked a table hit, which is unfortunate. And there's the guard, which you don't want to see because that's going to eat up a little bit of my Extreme Heat, so I can't get a second one off. So now I'm going to use a strong attack. If Sonia is giving us problems, we're going to use this bottle. Bottles are one of the other weapons that... how did you miss? I dropped my guard. Bottles are one of the other weapons that actually are a exception to the rule of everything having 3 hits. I don't think I actually talked about that. Dragon Engine with 6. Weird things. All weapons have 3 hits to them. Why? Don't know. 2 exceptions to the rule. Benches. Benches have 3 hits, and then another 3 hits. Bottles. Bottles start with 1 hit, which is blunt, as you saw there, and then turns into a 3-hit bladed weapon. That's why using a bottle against Sonia is really good, because Sonia guards a lot. And as you know from what I said earlier in fights, knife attacks go through guards. And because Sonia isn't gunning with a weapon, Sonia can't guard. There is a hierarchy to the types of enemies that you want to beat in the Yakuza speedruns. It goes all the way back to the originals. The number 1 enemies that you want to take care of first are enemies with guns. Guns are obviously the worst, they're long range, they can keep you on the floor for a long time. In certain Yakuza games, when you get hit by a gun, you do not have iframes. Hi Yakuza 0. Hi most of the Yakuza games actually. So if you get shot and you go down to the ground, you can get shot multiple times. This also goes for your offshoot guns, including rocket launchers, which can happen in this run, and also Kiwami 2. Nobody's ever done No one's ever done an any percent legend run that's gotten to the finale and they didn't save and then they died because they got stun locked by rocket launchers. I've never done a run like that ever since because I just can't. It still hurts. Tier 2 is knife enemies for obvious reasons, and also stun gun enemies, because stun guns, usually depending on the Yakuza game, can sometimes be a bit quicker than the attacks you're trying to do. If you're trying to use a weapon attack, for instance, it can be a bit quicker than that. If you're using Beast in Zero and Kiwami, it can be a bit quicker than your attack pattern there. So you have to basically, again, react to fights and make sure you prioritize everything. And then tier 1 is pretty much everything else, but that's kind of split into another little sub-tier where normal baseball bat guys would come at the top, because for some reason baseball bat guys, despite baseball bats being really bad for you, they can stun lock you. It's not fair. So we're back in Onomichi. We have word that Patriarch Hirose, aka Beat Takeshi, has for some reason disappeared with Haruto. We're going to go back and find out why. So we got the Onomichi set piece. When you have a Yakuza game, you usually have a set piece in the city. Usually it's Kamurocho, but here it's Onomichi, which is pretty cool. It's not too long. Hopefully take care of both of them at the same time, because that leaves these two together to take care of in one hit. We're going to get the dash completion list point in a minute. There it is. Ooh. Good time to get it. That means our movement is pretty good. And basically, there's a whole bunch of enemies that are just going to keep coming. We're going to use bike strats and then bench strats in a second. So this is a good time, Josh, if you've got any messages.
Oh, I pressed mute instead of unmute. Okay, hello. Yeah, I have a $20 donation from Stevie Boy, who didn't leave a comment, but they did put it towards the Resident Evil 2 2019 80% run. You can pick the costume choice for Claire, I believe. And they put their $20 towards the Claire 98 costume. Currently, Noir, I think I'm saying that right, is in the lead with $40. Claire 98 is in second place with 20. And then you've got Elsa Walker and Military, both with nothing. So if you want to change the clothes or costume that they're going to use in the either of the Resident Evil games, 2 and 3, get your donations in, you can change it. There isn't anything put towards Resident Evil 3 right now, so you could literally pick what they use if you wanted. So yeah, thanks a lot for the donation, and yeah, keep donating.
Yeah, thank you all. You saw me kind of look a little exasperated there during that fight. The problem with the Dragon Engine, a little weird, doesn't always happen, but usually in every single Dragon Engine game, we can pick out one enemy in one specific fight that for some reason glitches out. That guy was Muto in that fight there, where you saw him stand behind the car. He does that. There's no explanation other than his AI doesn't register the fact that there's a fight going on. So, yeah. So we usually have to go and walk over to him. I'm trying different methods of routing him. I'm usually going to start to go after him at this point, because him being there is annoying. And you saw there that we utilized the bench quite well with its 6 hits. We'll be utilizing bench strats again very soon. Also, the amazing cutscene that you all donated for is coming up soon. I remember which cutscene not to skip, because I almost skipped it back at Summer 18. So we're getting a bunch of backstory here. Kiyomi, who Sonia took to the inn earlier, used to be married to Sonia. They have a daughter. So things are a little awkward. Nagumo's a little angry that Kiyomi never said about it. Lots of lovely human drama, blah blah blah. One thing that I forgot to mention after the hotel set piece is that Sonia wanted us to oversee a alliance between the Tojo Clan, who are the big Yakuza clan in Kamurocho that Kiryu used to be the 4th chairman of, and the Yomei Alliance, the big Yakuza clan over in this part of the world, which is actually a hidden kind of front by the Iwami shipbuilders. So Iwami Senior and Junior, who you'll see later on. One of them may be getting punched in the face. Not May, will. And Kiryu basically said, I've been out of the Yakuza game for so long, I don't care. And they basically threatened a Yakuza war if Kiryu didn't agree. And Kiryu was just like, I don't care. Do what you want. So the Yomei are probably going to get a alliance with the Omi alliance. But all of this is going on behind the scenes whilst we're still looking for Patriarch Hirose. The important part about that story, there is a picture frame right next to that flower pot of Patriarch Hirose and Iwami Senior, which is the link that you find that maybe beat Takeshi's character might not be the funny old grandpa character that he's making himself out to be. After all, he did just take our baby. Here's some Yomei Alliance guys to throw. So I'm going to grab this guy. I'm going to throw him towards everybody else. Hopefully take care of pretty much everybody. So satisfying. Hope we take care of these guys. That was almost a 2-hit, which is fantastic. Usually you have 2 or 3 enemies left alive at the end of that. But we found a matchbox in Hirose's apartment. It is for a club down here called Snack Hourglass. This is a place that Hirose frequents, and the mama of the bar is going to tell us that he has gone to Ryunan Shrine. If you remember earlier, we went up there with Kiyomi whilst we were dodging certain different fights. Thankfully, this cutscene will despawn the enemy spawn that was on the road leading here. And if you remember from way earlier, Koshimizu, you're going to see him very intimately right now. Because, hey, guess what? It's time for a fight. So, we got some wonderful strats for this fight. Again, you're probably aware that bike strats are pretty good. Once again, let's use us some bike strats. And coming up very soon is that cutscene. Very, very soon. So, Koshimizu has a knife. Which should be problematic, but actually isn't for this fight. What we're going to do is we're going to stop him momentarily, otherwise he'll run towards us by kicking him. Gives us enough time to go grab this bike, turn around, and hit. He used his dodge, so he won't have it again. We still have 1 hit left on this bike. As long as we don't fail this QTE. As long as we don't fail this QTE. He's going to charge us immediately, and we're just going to hit him with bike. Bike strats. Bike strats are pretty good. We're going to go up to the shrine, which is where we find Patriarch Hirose. We'll get a little bit of a truth bomb. Haruto's father is Yuta. Kiryu's a little mad. Kiryu is a little angry at this. And Yuta is kind of afraid. For pretty obvious reasons. And then unfortunately, as the loading screen is so kindly hinting at us, here come the Jingwon Mafia. For some reason, the Jingwon Mafia are after Haruto. For the exact same reasons that Hirose was after Haruto. So, that cutscene is coming up after the next fight. So, you're gonna love this cutscene. This cutscene is amazing. Masazoe is here, by the way. Masazoe was actually working with Tatakawa to teach Yuta Chinese, because Yuta, as we find out, is a Heihaisi. More importantly, Big Low's Heihaisi. And Big Low had a son called Jimmy Low, who we'll get into him at some point. Come here, Kang. Almost. But I'm going to shut up, because here comes the cutscene. Enjoy this.
Nagumo! みんな町の方へ出ろ。ハルトを頼む。얘들아 잡아라! 저쪽이다! 꽃이야!
Ladies and gentlemen, that is what you donated for. I hope you all enjoyed. Guess who?
그놈은 건들지 마라. 내가 직접 처리한다.
Jong-gi Han's back.
お前
I hope you enjoyed that. That cutscene is legendary.
なんでお前がここにくそそこをどけ邪魔だ
Once again, you get to hear the amazing fight theme of Joon-gi Han. Leader of the Jingwon Mafia. I love this fight theme. I love this lad. He's so good. He's so fabulous. And we're going to hit him with a bench a couple of times, because bench strats. So as long as you hit him as he's getting up, he won't guard or dodge. Oh, you actually got me before I actually managed to get you. Heck. Oh, that's a problem. Okay, you know what? Is it here? Oh, it's not. Damn. So you can actually get a knife spawn at the back there. I was going to do knife strats, because knife strats, you'll see a knife heat move later on. There are two really good bladed heat moves in this game. One is the knife and one is the sword. We won't have the opportunity to do the sword again. You're going to see the knife one. I will tell you when to brace yourself, because the knife one is horrific. So, we find out that the Jingwon actually managed to get Haruto away from Yuta. So, nice one, Yuta. So we're going to go back to the Hirose family office, and then we're going to go and save Haruto. So yeah, Josh, now's a good time if you've got any messages.
Oh, okay, I'm still recovering from the cutscene, honestly. What do I do? Right, okay, yeah. Thank you, Lomzorg, for $50. They say, Froob, thanks for the content as per always. You are smashing it as per usual. And they put their $50 towards the Modern Warfare 2 campaign remastered, any percent run. They put it towards sparing the pilot. We have a bid war for the fate of the chopper pilot. So I believe kill the pilot is winning with $100, and spare the pilot is in second place with $85. So they're not that far behind. So if you want to choose whether to kill or spare the pilot, it's literally the next run right after this. You can choose whether to kill or spare the pilot in the Modern Warfare 2 run. So yeah, thanks for the donations. It's all going to a great cause, and yeah, thanks a lot.
Yeah, thank you all. There's a mouthful of a name. Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 Campaign Remastered.
Yeah.
Video games. So, we're now going to go and get Haruto back from the Jingwon Mafia. We're going over to a little fishing island that they went to. Pete Takeshi is going to tell us that he's staying in the boat alongside Ino. And we're going to go ahead and go and obviously do the set piece with the boys. So what we're going to do first is we're going to do a flying kick into this group of enemies. Here you want to try and take care of as many people as possible, because as you can see here, you're gonna get abused a little bit by the larger lads and just anybody in particular. Fortunately, there's two barrels here, well actually more than two barrels that you can utilize. Again, you saw it, we finally saw it, the large lad drop kick. Large lads love to drop kick, and it is the worst attack you could ever see. I don't like that guy over there because I want that cone, if possible, to survive until the end. These barricades all take, at the very least, 5 melee hits or 3 weapon hits. Hence why that cone surviving is important to go through this fast. Unfortunately, it's the Dragon engine and the physics don't like being messed with, and if anyone goes anywhere near it, it kind of breaks. So, us and Takashiro usually don't like you doing that, Takashiro. You didn't even finish him off. Like, I was going to throw him, and then Takashiro just... Great. So, here's a bit I can die because I do something stupid. We have to jump over this instant death pit, and instead what I'm going to do is dodge. And if I dodge at the right time, which I didn't, you go straight down instead. And yes, you can go straight down into the water and instantly die. Fortunately, you only go back to the start of this entire bit, but, you know. So this lad, kicking explosive barrels towards us. He's going to drop down once we take care of a certain amount of enemies. However, the nice thing is those explosive barrels don't discriminate whether you're friend or foe, and they like to explode upon everybody. That includes us, obviously. I'm looking at my health and I'm a little worried about that. Should be fine. But once we take care of a specific number of enemies, he's going to drop down. So we're going to try to get hit by that guy there and get knocked over. Little behind on the amount of enemies I'd like to kill here. Explosive barrels coming down. I'm just going to move away from that before I get killed. And we're going to take our first safety heal of the day with a luxury men or two. So he should come down any second now. There he is. Ah, he actually got it. Okay, I'll definitely extreme heat because of that. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So if you're wondering why I'm counting, it's because you have the 8 hits from the upgrade we got, and then I know after the end of that 8th hit is going to be the light attack from the extreme heat to start into the extreme heat. But I'm specifically the cones guy. But I'm specifically doing the strong instead, because the strong has less chance to be guarded against. It's not an absolute guarantee that the strong won't be guarded against. There are certain bosses coming up, especially end game bosses that again can free shot me with the way that we're set up here, that will actually just destroy us. So we have to be a little careful. I've never had them all stand there and stare at me. They're just all there, just like, yeah, off you go, Kiryu. Because this is the dangerous bit. This is another reason why I healed, because sometimes people do stupid things here and jump down before the barrels explode. See how much damage that did? I wanted to do that because sometimes you can have this activate early and it breaks it for you. We're not doing that again. I'm only doing it because I knew I had extra healing. But that's another downside to the fact that, you know, we have all this lowered defense. And now I'm going to play it very safe. Oh, I lied when I said there were no gun guys earlier. There's one. This guy. Who we're hopefully going to grab. Well, you know, I'll grab you because I know you'll take care of him when I throw you into him. Usually you have more than one alive at the end there. You usually have 2, which the gun just takes care of quite quickly. And again, as you'll see here, Kiryu for some reason drops the gun when climbing a ladder. It's a shame because you could utilize that gun quite fast here. We want to be careful not to land on these explosive barrels and blow them up. I also have very bad drift on my stick, so I want to make sure that I throw the barrel that way and not to the left like I did in the practice run earlier. Wait. So we don't blow up this time. Second one didn't go off in the cutscene. That's a shame. Second one going off in the cutscene usually takes care of some extra enemies. It's this one. You usually don't have an opportunity to do that, sir. So, I wanted the gun. A couple of guns here. You know the drill. Nice. Love this engine. Love this engine so much. As I said, explosive barrels, they don't care if you're friend or foe. So very, very, very rarely this guy can actually throw the explosive barrel down the ladder and blow up the barricade for you. Didn't happen here. Now up here, we have, as you can see, a couple of barrels. Whoa, hello. You are okay to hit this guy with the barrel for the first 2 hits. But the last one explodes. Fortunately, it doesn't do that much damage to us. For some reason, it should do way more than that, because you saw the amount of damage we took earlier from the exploding part. And again, you saw there the charge kick. The charge kick is super strong in this game. We'll be utilizing it for certain boss fights later in the game that we didn't have strats for before. And with this, the final fight for Jong-gi Han. So we learned from Jong-gi Han that Tatakawa was actually the person who hit Haruka in the car. Because he was panicking and trying desperately to get Haruto back because of the whole, obviously, ties to the Saio Triad. We're going to go over here. Yes, we didn't actually manage to glitch out the thing, but I still broke it anyway, didn't I? Oh, looks good. So I'm going to use the 3 hits of the steel plate against Jong-gi Han. Thank you for dodging like that, because that means I can hit you again. Wait for a second, because he's going to guard or dodge. Oh, no. I mistimed that. We're going to just use extreme heat so that we don't die in this fight. Grab a steel plate from the rack. Mid-fight QT gives you back some of your heat. Doesn't matter in this case. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 strong. Nice. And that is an okay Joon-gi Han. I'll take that. Had to react to him obviously stunning us with his move. And unfortunately for Joon-gi Han, he gets shot in the head. And unfortunately for Masazoe, he also turns up after having been shot in the head. We don't know who did it. We didn't get a clear picture of them. And we head back to the boat with everybody, and we're gonna head back to Onomichi. At this point, Yuta knows that his father is Bigelow, leader of the Saio Triad. So we're gonna go back to Kamurocho, where Yuta's going to do something dumb. Remember when I said that the Yakuza games are kind of daddy issues, the series? This is especially daddy issues, the game. So, obviously you can see now Yuta is holding Haruto. Yuta is now feeling like he's going to become more of a father, except he isn't. Because Yuta has a great idea of how to protect Haruto. And great is in very big quotation marks when I say that. So we're going to have to go back to the Hirose family office after this. This is one of the last times we can hope for when it goes to daytime. One of the last times that we can hope for the God Taxi RNG. So we want to leave the apartment and see a taxi right in front of us. That will save us a good 15 to 20 seconds because we're not running with Haruto anymore. We're obviously running at full pelt because we're Kiryu. Taxi? No. No lucky taxi spawn unless it comes behind us. We're walking on the left-hand side of the road intentionally because on the left-hand side of on the right-hand side of the road during the daytime is a baseball sub-story business-like mini-game. If you remember the business sub-stories from Yakuza 0 with Majima and Kiryu, it's kind of like that. It's like Baseball Manager. It's really cool, but not during the speedrun. And actually, I'm not sure if it actually happens when you're with Yuta anyway, because in the Yakuza games, usually if you have an NPC following you, it despawns most sub-stories, so it might not spawn it for Yuta, but I've never risked it to find out. And you can see that with Yuta holding Haruto, the fight spawns have gone back to being random again, but they usually appear in the same places most of the time. So they usually appear down there at the bottom part by that taxi stand. Sometimes they will appear next to the taxi stand. It's very rare at this part, but a later part in the finale they can. And again, that's one of those that you just have to react to. So, once again, we're going to ask the only person we know to take care of this baby, Date. Not sure why we entrust our kids to Date. He doesn't exactly have the best proven track record. So, whilst we speak with Date, Yuta's going to go outside for some air, and unfortunately Yuta's left. Yuta's cell phone is on the floor, so where is Yuta gone? Yuta's gone to see his dad. And he's got the great idea that he's going to get drunk. So he's drinking some alcohol, takes it in 2 bottles into Little Asia, goes to see his real dad. One problem. One of those bottles isn't alcohol. It's gasoline. And Yuta's grand idea is if he takes out the 2 heads of the Saio Triad, aka Big Low, and now the heir, now that little Jimmy Low is gone, the new heir to the Saio Triad, which would be Yuta, then the Saio Triad aren't going to come after Haruto anymore. A little flawed considering, you know, they're probably just going to go after Haruto, but Yuta's grand idea is to set fire to the place that's made entirely of wood. So we're going to go and stop him in the Kazuma Kiryu fashion of punching him in the face. It works quite well. It's worked quite well over the series so far. So we're going to get the one skippable phone call that we can get here. It actually pushes us forward, so it's actually kind of important to skip. There we go. Sometimes this loads in time for you to see the drop kick, sometimes it doesn't. Is it going to load in today? No, it's not. Shame. So this is a big courtyard battle. It's kind of rough. We want to try and take care of as many enemies at once as we can. We want to make sure we throw this guy because he has the most HP. And throwing actually causes him to go down. Oh, hello. So the Saio Triad members are a little different than your usual Yakuza thugs in that they actually have more guard and more dodge than your usual enemies. So you have to take that into consideration when fighting them, but not when you have a chair. Definitely not when you have a chair. And despite the fact that there is a chair here, it's actually a little slower to grab the chair and use the attacks to break this barricade than it is to actually punch it. We're going to go up here. This guy right here has a submachine gun, so you know the drill. Guns first. Here, we're just going to take care of these enemies. The entire building is on fire. I didn't connect properly with him, which is why he didn't go down in one hit. He's going to kick a chair at me, probably. No. Guess who's in his office? Ed, the building's on fire. So, for the third and final time, we're going to show Ed why chairs are really good. Again, I love Ed. He's just here. That's Ed. That happens. For some reason, Ed is hanging out in his office while the building's on fire. Cool. Kiryu drops the chair after that fight, always does, so we're going to break this barricade with the 5-hit combo, and we're going straight into another boss fight. As you can probably imagine, we're going to stop Yuta. The fire effects in this engine are absolutely gorgeous, as you're about to see in this next room. And we're going to teach Yuta a lesson in the only way that we know how. Usually that's how Kiryu gets his point across. So this fight is actually pretty simple. We're going to go to the back of the room. Hopefully not break the vase. If that hit the floor, that was breaking. Hit Yuta with a vase twice. It's actually not quicker to fail this QTE. If you watch this QTE, you would be surprised and think to yourself, surely letting him get hit by this giant fiery beam would actually save time. Kiryu still guards it anyway, but you lose health and he doesn't. So it's not that fast. He has a couple of seconds of iframes. It's going to wait for a second. Hit him with the vase. That's how you deal with Yuta. So, at this point, this is the penultimate... We're about to go into the penultimate, words are hard today, chapter of the game. This is where all the plot starts coming out. So, basically, there's a lot to sum up. Bigelow was going to leave Yuta alone anyway, so Yuta burning down Little Asia again, poor Little Asia, was for no reason. So, we now learn that there is a secret of Onomichi. There is... This secret of Onomichi has big ties to the Iwami shipbuilders, aka the Yomei Alliance, and if that ever leaked, it would be the end of them. However, there's a reason. There's only a couple of people who have ever been privy to even bare discussions about it, and one of the people who got blackmailed into it was Bigelow, thanks to the actions of his son, Jimmy Lowe. Remember Daddy Issues the game? Jimmy Lowe just wanted some attention from his dad. Jimmy Lowe saw the fact that Little Asia got burned down by the Tojo Clan, or the Yomei shipbuilders, and said, oh hey, let's go take over a part of Kamurocho, which is the Tojo Clan's turf. This was just to get his dad to notice him, by the way. Now, unfortunately, that's him there. Heck you, Jimmy Lowe. He is the cause of everything. So, because of that, that's the reason why Jimmy Lowe was killed. And obviously, that made Yuta the next head. But Bigelow just wanted to get out. Bigelow understands how important everything is. And at this point, Bigelow knows that with the dissolution of the Saio Triad, they're going to send assassins after him. And he's now going to disappear after we have a conversation about the secret of Onomichi. So at this point, Yuta and Haruto are now safe. Yuta's now actually going to act like a dad, hopefully. No more shenanigans, please. And Big Lo, being one of the only people privy to the secret of Onomichi, is going to give us an SD card. On that SD card is a codex that is going to lead us to the secret of Onomichi. Now, there's a reason why nobody has ever found the secret of Onomichi. It's because the secret of Onomichi has a guardian. This guardian has killed anybody who has ever gotten close to the secret of it. And he goes by the name of Patriarch Hirose. Beat Takeshi. So, as you could probably imagine, you don't just have Beat Takeshi in a movie or a game to play a funny old grandpa. If ever Beat Takeshi's in a movie or a game, you know he's up to no good and he's going to kick people's backsides. This is the Guardian himself. He is going to be the first of the few bosses that can free-shot us. And you'll be seeing him at the end of this chapter. For now, we're going to head back to the Hirose family office. We're going to be going through a few set pieces. So, Josh, if you've got any messages, now is a great time.
How do you keep doing that? I was glad on mute. All right, perfect. Yes, we got 2 donations. We got a $20 donation from Yarts, who says, shout outs to Froob and Tapaka. I think I said that right. The Yak Legends. And I love that name. That's amazing.
Yep.
And thanks, Mira Jr. for $25. And they say, love the Yakuza series. Had to donate now. Love from Portugal. And they both put their donations towards the Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu / Eevee any % run. Yarts decided to name the starter Shelly Bees. And Mira Jr. decided to name Starmie Patrick. So both of those names are winning for their respective Pokemon right now. So if you want to change any of the name of the Pokemon in that run, get your donations in, and you can do that. So yeah, thanks a lot.
Yeah, thank you very much. So this guy here with the HP bar has an infinite combo. We're just going to take care of him now. And we're going to take care of the guy with the gun, because as I found out earlier, he doesn't like to be... He basically just runs around and dodges a lot. I may have lost like an entire almost minute to that guy earlier, because if you don't deal with him, he deals with you by not letting you hit him. He literally is like Neo from the Matrix and literally dodges everything. Like, you can attack him with a weapon and he'll dodge it. You can attack him with fists, he'll dodge it. You can, yeah, just even throw stuff at him, he'll dodge it. I hate him. He's one of the worst NPCs in this game. And he's just a sub-boss. The second guy who jumps off the truck with the white suit, he has an infinite combo, and with our less HP, he can one-shot us. If he gets us in that combo, that's it. Run, not dead, but pretty much over. So we head back to the Hirose family office. Everybody's in shock about the fact that Hirose is behind this, and some people, Nagumo, kind of a charge attack, thank you, having a little bit more disbelief than others. Okay, I'm just going to extreme heat you there, Nagumo. This is how we have to do this. A little bit of a weird thing to this fight that we have to be a little conscious of is, for some reason, Nagumo doesn't go into the second phase of this fight if you're still in the extreme heat. Run away. It's weird. Exceptions to the rule, always. So, thanks to doing that QT, we actually get a little bit of that heat back, as you can see. Enough to be able to go into extreme heat, where he's standing right next to this scooter, and yeah, that's how we deal with Nagumo. Again, remember that Nagumo is super susceptible to scooter attacks in this game. So now we're all working well together. The Ome Alliance is here. You know what we're going to do. You can't grab anyone at the start of the fight. I knew that was going to happen. We're too close to the wall. But because of this, Nagumo. I needed to throw that guy. So now that we can actually kick a bit more of the guys down here. There's one guy around the corner. His AI has decided to just not work. As you do. Happens. Always happens. And now you can see that's the code. We don't know what this means. Except we do. There are 9 letters with 9 numbers in between them. There are 9 poem stones around Onomichi. So We're going to start waltzing around Onomichi. This is Saigo. If you've ever played Yakuza 4 and 5, he's a familiar face. And actually, this is a good time to talk about the bonus after this run, the Amon fight. The Amon clan is a bunch of fights that always happen. I'm stuck with Apple. That always happen after you've beaten all sub-stories, with one exception. Yakuza 6. Funny that. So, with Yakuza 6, you don't actually have to finish all the sub-stories to be able to unlock the Amon clan. What you have to do is beat, I believe it's 3 specific sub-stories, one of which was the sub-story we walked past in the very first chapter, the 2 people outside of the manhole, because that helps spawn the final encounter with the Rise app gym sub-story that you saw us walk into, because that leads you, when you take the gym membership, that leads you into meeting another familiar face from Yakuza 4 and 5, Sadachi, aka the Sadachi Dojo. And you have to beat Sadachi and Saigo 3 times, and provided that you have gotten to a certain point in the story, aka after chapter 5 for Saigo, chapter 6, and the sub-story that I talked about with Sadachi, you get called out by them to do one last fight, super easy fight, and then you get to fight Amon. So instead of having to do all sub-stories in Yakuza 6, you can fight Amon super early. Super low level. Don't recommend it. However, you can quite easily do it. When I show you the Amon fight, I'm going to very briefly show you before or after, I haven't decided which, the very quick way of dealing with Amon. Because Amon in Yakuza 6, you can cheese him. Very, very easily. There is 2 moves, I've used them quite a few times in this run so far, that literally Amon can't do anything about. And you can just spam them. And if you utilize CC Lemon alongside those moves, he goes down very quickly. Very, very quickly. He can't do anything to you, provided you don't mess up your timing, which, hey, I've done that a couple of times. But I'll show you the quick way to fight him, and then because it was a donation incentive, much like we did back at ESA Winter a couple of months ago, we're going to fight Amon legit. What this means is I'm not fully powered. I don't have all defense. I am going to utilize speedrun strats. So minus 50 defense down to 150. We're going to be on hard because for some reason my legend save has disappeared. Don't actually know what's happened to that. I think there might have been a PlayStation Plus cloud save shenanigans that happened with that, unfortunately. I wanted to do it on legend, but unfortunately I only have my hard save. Trust me when I say that he can kill me with one move, which I will probably show off in the stronger fight, or the quicker fight. We'll probably do the fight normally first, and then I'll show you the quick way to do it. Or what I'll do is I'll do the normal strat, and if I die once, we'll then do the quick strat, because, yeah. Because it was a donation incentive, so you deserve for it to be a legit fight, rather than a fight that ends in about 2 minutes. Because for some reason, when I first started doing the Yakuza runs for ESA, it's starting with this. For some reason, I never thought, I see that fight spawn and I'm going to deal with it now. I am thinking of the wrong part anyway. I need to get this anyway. I messed up. That's fine. That fight spawn just saved me from running out of stamina. Because I have to get the last poem stone. Too busy thinking ahead to the Amon fights. This should be the last poem stone. If it's not, we're in trouble. That's the last poem stone. Thank goodness. No God Taxi, that's a shame. But yeah, essentially you'll see the Amon fight. Because it was a donation incentive, I'm going to try it once legit. I still consider that this is one of the easiest Amon fights in the entire series, but that doesn't mean that he's not dangerous, and you'll see why. He has 2 moves that can literally instantly kill me out of nowhere, and it could literally just happen. Hence why, if I do die once, like, quite late into the fight, I will have to do the quick strat, just so that we stay underestimate and that the marathon doesn't go too far behind. I don't want to be the person that makes that the marathon go behind at the very start. So, cute fact, that enemy spawn that is chasing us we're not in the fight right now. You know when you go in the fight, it like does the whole like the sound effect. It goes into the blue part. If you're in that fight and you go into that cutscene right there, there is a 60% chance the game will crash. Don't know why. There's a similar bit to that in another Dragon Engine game, Yakuza Kiwami 2, where if you go into a certain set piece spawn, in the middle of a fight, not being chased, but in the middle of a fight, it will actually crash on PS4. Very weird, but as long as you know it exists, that's fine. That's a bad fight spawn. You know what? I'm going to deal with it again right now. Sometimes this will still spawn a fight spawn over at the docks, but this is fine. So we're going into the penultimate set piece. Penultimate chapter, penultimate set piece. This one doesn't give you a confirmation box, so... Oh no, this one is the one that gives you a confirmation box. The one earlier doesn't. That's why it's weird. Exceptions and all of that. So Hirose has gone over to this place where we have figured out which is the location of the secret of Onomichi. Don't forget, we're still after that. The secret that can so-called end the Yomei Alliance, aka the Amami shipbuilders. So, we're going to start off in this courtyard. We're going to drop kick that guy with the sledgehammer. Hopefully, all my attacks not going to come out. We're just going to avoid him whilst he tries to hit us, and then we're going to take the barrel, because again, barrels have nice large attack, and we want the live lad to go down. Unfortunately, he guarded. I should have realised that was going to happen. So we'll start to throw him. We'll deal with him in a second. That's an unfortunate guard. Bad start. Again, we want to deal with the large lads. I'm going to assume that Takashira can take care of him. Usually, in previous Yakuza games, you can't exactly leave the AI to deal with them. The Dragon Engine AI is actually, I see with Nagumo, quite competent. Which is quite nice for a change. So, Takashira, we're going to run in front of him. I'm going to try to. Hopefully my drifting stick doesn't take me the wrong way here. You want to try and aim for these stairs. I need a little more to the right because of it. It's fine. So, the Yomei Alliance is going to chase us down. We're going to go over to this crane right now. We're going to do a bit of traversal, a little bit of parkour. So, Josh, if you've got anything to say, now is a perfect time.
Alright, excellent. We got a $5 donation from our very own Tiny Tim, who says, "Hi all, had to donate for Daddy Issues the Game and the wonderful FroobMcGuffin. Thank you for making me laugh while working. Cheers." And thanks, Tim, that you put the $5 towards the Wii Sports Resort All Sports Quack %. Yep, I won't bother explaining the rest. I'll leave it at that.
How have I
And then, and then we got the $25 from oh no, Moriyoshi John.
Hey!
I did it enough to you know who I'm talking about. Good.
Yep.
Enjoyed the watch as always, Froob. Can't wait for Amon and his Roombas of Doom.
Moriyoshi John is one of the lead localizers of the Yakuza series. That is awesome. So thank you both very much, I appreciate it. You see my health is a little low here. I'm grabbing this healing item for safety because marathon run. I have quite a lot still. I have a lot of my bentos. I'm looking forward to Amon, and I'm also scared of Amon. Mostly because the strats that I use again can get me killed in one attack. And Amon can just bring it out any time. For this encounter here, we're going to be taking care of these guys first. I really wanted to get rid of the guy with the sledgehammer for these reasons. That attack could have killed me. That would have done just enough. I don't want to turn the camera. You saw there just very briefly that my FPS does drop in this area because there's too many people. I'm healing. I refuse with this guy with this crowbar behind me to not heal. We're going to be... If y'all could come over here. Usually they come over here. Sometimes your allies here, for some reason, don't fully come over the barricade, and they actually cause all the NPCs to come towards you. It's one of those encounters, again, that you just have to react to. Usually they come over, this time they didn't. It happens. I wasted too many barrel hits, so it's also on me there, to be honest. So what we're gonna do is, again, act surprise, barrel strats. There's a kind of flour bag there. I don't think it's flour exactly, but there's a bag there that if you grab, and there's available in another fight. That was actually slow to throw. If you grab that bag and hit an enemy with it, it creates like a dust cloud, and actually it stuns you as well, so they're a little slow. It's one of those things that, again, doesn't discriminate against friend or foe. And we're just going to follow Takashira. You can tell how kind of these situations are going by how much HP your allies have. And we're against the clock here because we need to get through this bit without our attack buff wearing out. I forgot to do a level up. That explains why my attack feels a little low. Well, and that explains why my drink is almost out. Oops. I had a suspicion. I wanted to keep that. Oh, I really wanted to keep that. Because, hey, guess what? 3 guys with knives spawn in. Actually, that was pretty cool. We want a knife and our heat attack, our heat bonus for the end of this bit. The trouble is, again, knife guys, you know the drill. Ow. Okay, I'm just going to kick them. So we want at least, oh hi, 1 knife for the end of this. Let's get out of this fight really quickly. I need a knife, I need a knife, I need a knife. It's not gonna last long enough because I didn't get the vending machine upgrade. Ooh, okay. Remember when I said earlier you're gonna see 1 heat attack that's gonna make you a bit squeamish? If you're a bit squeamish, this is the one. So if I had my attack buff on, this guy would go down in 1 hit. So this specific attack. Yeah. Oh, I missed. Okay, we're using the steel drum. There's backups. We have backups because we never used to be able to get the vending machine drink here long enough because we kind of forgot that the vending machine drink upgrade actually increased the time that the vending machine like status effects stayed around. So when we figured that out, it was great. You can just about keep your attack buff if you have full vending machine drink to that point, but whoops. So as we come out, what we're going to do now is new strats. More new strats. We're going to grab this traffic cone. Usually cones we don't use in fights. We're going to here. Toughness Infinity is the best healing or pure health healing you can get. It is a full HP heal. I'm going to have 1 of those for the aim on fight. This guy on the left, Soma. The most annoying enemy in this set. We're just going to use the heat attack on him because it does a lot of damage. And we can also then just do 1 of those. This guy has a knife, get rid of him. Again, you know the drill, just throw everybody into everybody if you can. Large landings drop kick. There's a reason why I'm not trying to throw Soma. Again, I think I said it very briefly earlier. Mini bosses that have HP bars, they don't like to stay on the ground. I remember when I said Patriarch Hirose killed people getting too close to the secret Onomichi? Yeah. He has a knife. This is actually one of the scariest fights in the run. Because of the fact that we've lowered our defense, Hirose here with his knife can pretty much take us out in, as I said, 3 hits. So, we do enough damage to get into the second phase of the fight. This is his mid-fight QTE. Again, as I said earlier, you have to see every single mid-fight QTE bar mass as always. We're going to cancel out of our extreme heat. Most of the time when you're in a cutscene, your extreme heat still goes down, but not this one. We're going to get 2 knives thrown at us here. I don't believe there's a way to speed this up. I never think we found one. It's just timing based. It doesn't take too long. If you fail these QTEs, yes, you get hit by the knives and take damage. We don't want that to happen. This is the final one. Hello, beat Takeshi. The absolute legend. That gets us enough heat to be able to do extreme heat. We're going to use one of ours to get more heat. It has 1 more mid-fight QTE. I have heat again. I didn't look. I should have done a strong attack. Could you do the mid-fight QTE? Thank you. That also gets us a little bit of extra heat, which allows us to extreme heat again, so we don't get stunned by that attack. And punch. That's the end of Beat Takeshi. Good fight. Very good fight. That's one of those fights that, again, look at our HP bar. If you get hit by him, not in extreme heat, you'll get knocked to the ground because obviously he has a knife. And that knife, literally, as we said in the tier list earlier, can basically stun lock you. And again, he can free shot you because of the strats that we're using. Like, it doesn't matter that this is on easy. These bosses that we're going up against free shot us. This is why I really like the Yakuza runs, and in particular why I really like Yakuza 6. Because Yakuza 6, not only is it one of the better Yakuza games, but the speedrun is completely insane. Because we literally just can get free shot on the easiest difficulty. Like, it's absolutely mental. So, 45 minutes of plot exposition about a boat. I'm going to try and sum it up a little bit, or try and sum it up as best as I can. The secret of Onomichi is the Yamato Mark II. Matsunaga, yeah, earlier, building the model ship of the Yamato. As we said, it was a very, very sly little hint. If you know kind of wartime politics, you'll know the reason why the Yamato Mark II is a very, very important thing and shouldn't exist. But the Yomei Alliance, aka the Iwami shipbuilders, in this time have been rebuilding the Yamato Mark II. And all of a sudden it just popped up off the shore of Onomichi. As you do. We did that. Because of this, there is a man in the background who controls everything. They call him the Fixer. I believe his name is Yamano Dodai. We went to his grave earlier. Might be wrong on that, actually. He knows that Kiryu was the one who let it out. He wants Kiryu dead. We are now in the finale. I very much tried to typeface that as best I could, because that was literally 45 minutes of exposition. Sonia... I love this engine for that. Just all those NPCs, just... There's the boat. All those NPCs just spawning in. That fight spawn that just happened is currently glitched out. We have to be very careful. You saw it there by the taxi. We need to get past where it spawns here. Otherwise, it can actually start a fight with us at any point. But Sonia is an interesting character, because he doesn't hate Kiryu. He has a massive amount of respect for Kiryu, the fact that he was the 4th chairman, and he warns Kiryu of the fact that everyone wants him dead. Speaking of the Yomei Alliance, this is a little overkill, but this is how the Yakuza do things. Just, you know, rocket launch in the middle of the street, as you do. This is why I love the Yakuza series. And again, it's a shame that the speedrun skips through, like, most of the story content and all of the side content, because the story content of these games is phenomenal, and so is the side content. So, speed strats for this part. As long as we were holding that bike going into this part here with at least one hit left, you'll see that on the left it has its full 3 hits. For some reason, that fight transition, I dropped it because of the physics from the Dragon engine. I actually do love this engine, but when speedrunning, it's a little infuriating at times. Because now I'm not going to have a bike for the next part unless I run over here and hopefully grab it before they finish the last guy off. And when I said the AI was good, I take that back. Sometimes they just don't do anything. It's pick and take. If it's on Legend, they do more stuff because Legend AI is more aggressive. The bike does respawn here, but it's better to start with it. As you can see there, you can just take out that first pack of enemies and the rest stay up here. Instead of drop kicking this guy, we're actually going to throw him to try and hit everybody. Not bad. Go after him because he has more HP. Not bad. Pretty good. But that's the downside to the Yakuza speedruns, is that unfortunately we do skip through the amazing storylines and also the amazing minigames. That's why I've been trying to do more like all cutscene % runs so you can see the amazing stories again, because like the Yakuza series is very rich in amazing storytelling. You have to be very careful with this taxi list, because at the top of that taxi list, Taxi Kamurocho appears at the top, so it's now down 4, down 3, not down 2. Don't get me started on Yakuza runs and their taxi lists. We'll be here for a very long time. But you have to go back to Kamurocho via the story trigger here, not via the taxi. So we're going to head back there now. But literally, like, one of the great things about the Yakuza series now is the absolute love and care that has gone into it, both in like the localization and the presentation. I personally have said multiple times that the relocalization of Yakuza 3 changed that game for me because it's so good. And that's the reason why people love it. It's amazing to think that this series was struggling in the West and then came back because the power of social media and the picture of a chicken on Twitter. That's how this series survived in the West, was the extra great localization and the picture of a chicken on Twitter. It's amazing. Like, it's such a great story. There's Akiyama again. I love Akiyama. You'll see him again real soon, actually. He's going to join us. So, Haruka woke up. Hooray! Got reunited with the baby and the daddy. We fixed the daddy issues for her before she even woke up. Fantastic. So, what we're going to do is we're going to go and do the final set piece of the game. This is usually where runs live or die. There's a lot of segments in this that require a little bit of finesse and for things to go perfectly right. There's a skip coming up, which I'm not going to attempt, or if, you know what, I know what I'm like, I will attempt it. If I get the perfect setup, it saves 8 seconds. If we fail it, we lose 7 minutes. It's not something you rely on. It's phenomenal. But yeah, the Yakuza series is in such a really nice place now, and you can get into it from anywhere. With Yakuza 0 and Yakuza Kiwami being readily available literally anywhere, you can start with either. Most people will say to start with 0. I also kind of agree, because Kiwami adds a few scenes based on 0. But if you like what you've seen today, even like not from a speedrun side of view, but like the Rugby Baby cutscene, for instance, you want more amazing moments like that, then pick up Yakuza 0. It's super cheap and it's super easy to get into. You don't need any prior knowledge, despite it being a prequel. It's one of those prequels that's actually stunningly well done, because you don't need prior knowledge and serves as an amazing start point. But if you have access to Yakuza Kiwami and you want to start with what was considered the original, that works too. Both 0 and Kiwami you can go back and forth between. So it's never been easier to get into the Yakuza series, and I love these games. Like, I adore these games and will go to bat for these games for a massive amount of time. Hi! Naoto? Shiro? Akiyama? I have clearly taken too long with these enemies because they're coming down now. When you take care of all the enemies, they start dropping down from the ceiling. You can usually take care of those enemies quite quickly. I unfortunately didn't react to some of the enemies. Matsunaga, that is twice today that you have kicked the guy I'm going to use as a weapon, and we need to have words after this one. So once we take care of the last guy, the story trigger appears here. So we're just gonna... Hopefully you want to either have the NPCs end them before we get to that point, or you can basically end them there like we did. We're going to go off with Yuta and Akiyama. Good old Akiyama. Love Akiyama. We're going to go off to the top of the main town. We're here after Sagai, because we're here to stop him temporarily in charge of the Tojo, who are after Haruto. The Tojo Clan just never learn. They really don't learn. You would think after like the 5th or 6th time of trying to oppose Kiryu that they would stop. We're going to do grenade strats here, which is me grabbing this grenade, throwing this grenade, and hopefully them exploding. Grenade strats. It's called grenade strats because it can often sometimes not work. Yuta or Akiyama can knock them away, or they can suddenly have aggressive AI and run away. Or they can knock us into the grenade. Had that happen once. Remember when I said you can get stun locked by rocket launchers in the finale in K2? Yeah, guess what? Same here. No. The nice thing is, again, much like most of the other enemies, is that any explosive, so grenades, rocket launchers, they can also hurt their allies as well. Usually, Akiyama and Yuta take care of a couple of enemies here. They've been struggling a little bit lately. Again, completely random whether they do or not. That's an unfortunate miss. I would like to use the last hit of this chair on this guy. Of course. So instead I'm going to just use some charge attack, because again, the charge kick for some reason is ridiculously overpowered in Yakuza 6. The reason why we don't want to have a weapon in our hands here is that Yuta does a dumb thing, goes ahead without looking, gets stabbed in the stomach. Good job, Yuta. Now, because we don't have a weapon in our hand, we can actually grab one of the pieces of furniture that's right here and end this fight instantly. Usually the table, preferably the table. Okay, that guy's AI decided not to activate straight away. That can happen as well. But usually a 2-hit is absolutely perfect. And even Kiryu's in a fort to the top right. The Tojo Clan should know better. And we're going to get a wonderful throwback, a wonderful little reference here to Yakuza 3. Those of you who have played Yakuza 3 know exactly what I'm talking about when you'll see this. Oh dear. Just a guy in a helicopter with a minigun. Not the first time this has happened. And even Kiryu makes the impression here. Always with the helicopters. Oh, you're aggressive today. Hello. He's supposed to stand back so that I can grab one of the chairs to deal with the double large lads here. And that guy. The reason why we rush forward there is because obviously one of those guys has a submachine gun and you know the tier list, you take care of guns first. In this bit, this is teaching you that you want to stand behind these pillars because that stops you from getting hit by the helicopter shots. Take care of these two. And then in this room, there's 3 guys. We're going to try and grab a weapon. This beer keg usually works quite well if I use the right attack. You want to be careful of this guy. He has the knife. Usually I can actually take care of him a little earlier. That's fine. I wasted a hit there on the body. That sucks. Something as well about the weapons in the Dragon Engine is that if you hit allies or people who aren't fully registered as dead yet, you do use up a move on that weapon. Kiwami 2, or beginning with Kiwami 2, began to have different values for the weapons like the other Yakuza games have. So if you're used to, say, your bikes in Yakuza 0, having, for instance, a starting 3 hits into an extra 2 hits into the wheel for an extra 3 hits, they go back to being like that in Kiwami 2, with some minor differences to previous entries in the series. But here in Yakuza 6, for the most part, the rule of thumb is 3 hits to everything, outside again of benches and bottles and very few other things. So, rocket launcher guy strats. Remember, friendly fire is a thing. You can hear that he took out some of his mates. We're going to hopefully get the guy with the grenade. Oh, he dodged. Sometimes he does. Because as you can probably imagine, grenade strats exist. That's unfortunate. I'm very surprised I missed that. I have to blame that on my stick drift, but I'm fairly certain that was me. It doesn't guarantee that you can take out the enemies with the grenade strat anyway, because as you saw there, sometimes their AI will be aggressive and they'll run towards you instead. I'm very lucky that it didn't break. Knocked it over. I think it always knocks it over. I'm very lucky that it didn't break those 2 seats there. Those 2 seats are the entirety of the skip that we have in this part that is super scary. Thank you for not dodging this time. You can also have him throw a grenade prematurely, which actually works out quite well because you can basically just leave it there and then run from the enemies. It's not going to hit him. I don't really know why I did that, to be honest. I don't know why I ran back into that. It's 20 to 10 in the morning, and they've been awake for a long time. So here's the strat: 2 large lads, a love seat with 3 hits to it. We want to try and hit them towards the barrier. How did I miss you? Oh no! Oh no! That combo will kill me. I'm going to take my 1 healing item here. So you want the last hit. I can actually set it up still. Ah, that's a shame. You want your last hit to break the barricade with the furniture at the same time as you take care of the last guy. By doing that, You drop the furniture, enabling you to run at full speed. That hitbox lingers, by the way. Don't run too far forward. And you can basically run ahead of the helicopter. And if you're quick enough, you can get past the helicopter shooting you. If you're not quick enough, you get shot by the helicopter, and with minus 50 defense, I think you know exactly what happens. You can essentially get shot twice. You have one very small frame to be able to actually hit the pause menu. I'm waiting here intentionally so that that trigger starts, because that's the trigger that can sometimes not load if you run here too early. And guess where it autosaves? The very start of the set piece. So for a marathon strat, we're gonna wait. For a good run, we're gonna wait. Sonia. Again, amazing fight theme. I will go with my opinion that Yakuza 6 has the best OST in the entire series. So we actually have strats for Sonia that we didn't have back in the day 2 years ago. Charge kick into a full extreme heat to begin with. I missed, which is actually fine. Reason why I didn't do the light one is that Sonia is one of these guys that guards the first hit. So I don't have any extreme heat left over for the second phase, which is a shame. So we're gonna, can happen. We're gonna dodge everything. Drop kick him to get some extreme heat. Do it again. Do not go behind the bar. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Strong again. This will do enough damage, hopefully, to put him into, yep, final phase. You saw there as well that there were bar stools at the very back. This is the fight I was referring to about 2 hours ago, when I said that one of the only weapons in this fight is those bar stools, and Sonia's faster than you. Sonia has a better attack pattern than you do. So the bar stools are only good for using the heat attack skins in with. You can, if you can get past the bar stools, pick up a drink shaker, which is marginally better. Marginally. Amazing QT, by the way. Charge kick. We need to get his HP down a little bit. Extreme heat, and hopefully this will be the last extreme heat that we need. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Into strong, that'll be good. That's Sonia free. Dragon engine ragdolls, and that is why they're absolutely beautiful, and I love this engine so much. So I'm not going to go through the plot for the end. You'll just have to play for yourself to find out. But we are now going to be going into the final 2 bosses. So Josh, if you've got anything to say, now's a great time.
How do you keep doing that? Every time. All right, perfect. Yeah, so as we come to the end of this run, I'd just like to let everyone know the next game is going to be Modern Warfare 2 Campaign Remastered. I think that's the name of the game anyway. And yeah, we have a bid war going where you can choose to kill or spare the pilot. It says, in the last part of the end game, there is a surviving pilot of the chopper we shot down who angrily clicks his pistol at us. We can kill him, which will trigger a custom animation, or we can walk away. Currently, kill the pilot is leading with $100, and spare the pilot is in second place, obviously. I don't know why I said that was only 2 options, with $85. So if you want to donate $16 or more, you can choose to spare him instead of killing him. And yeah, obviously all your donations are going towards the Save the Children Corona Relief Emergency Fund. So it's a great cause, and thanks a lot for donating.
Yes, thank you all. So we're going into the final 2 fights. One wise man said 2 days ago that you never lose time at Koshimizu 2. Said wise man, then lost 20 seconds to Koshimizu 2. These fights are supposed to go one way and one way only. So, allow me to show you. Amazing fight intro, by the way. Again, just showing off the amazing choreography that the RGG Studio team put into their games. So, Koshimizu, round 2. In this fight, you'll see there's a bunch of dudes. We're just going to kick Koshimizu. Okay. Well, remember that time a wise man once said you don't lose time? You lose time. For some reason, I didn't kick. That's on my controller. I didn't want to do this. I wanted to save this. Okay, that's still fine. We need our extreme heat because Koshimizu is the only boss in the game that has a phase 2. One of the downsides to Yakuza 6 while they were still figuring stuff out. Nagumo takes the hits for us. The reason why we need extreme heat is because we gotta punch. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. This will not finish off Koshimizu. Kicking him, we're getting close to it. And then a charge. And that is Koshimizu 2. Watch this awesome end of the fight. Satisfying. If there's one thing the Yakuza series has, it is satisfying punches. And the final boss, who has way less HP than even a singular form of Koshimizu. This is the fight where we actually figured out CC Lemon strats are kind of ridiculous. Remember when I said you'd very briefly meet Sugai? Wait for it. That's him there on the ground. He's the one who's been working with Sonia. So this is Iwami Jr. I mentioned Iwami Jr. earlier. I said someone was getting punched out of him in Senior. It's Junior. So this fight always goes the same way. Never said those words before. Charge kick. Builds up heat. Extreme heat. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, I did just connect. This puts him straight into the mid-fight QTE. Stay in extreme heat. Watch how much HP he has left after this QTE. Oh dear. You can do it in either two ways here. You can either do a charge kick, because it takes him a second time, by the way. That was time, sorry. Forgot about that. You can either do a charge kick, which will take care of him instantly, because as you saw, he has a little period of iframes before you can actually attack him, or just do what I do there and just punch him. Because when he charges towards you, you can have a situation where accidentally / not accidentally, he can grab you. So it's a little bit more riskier, but like a second faster. A second. That does add up. You know, it is a speedrun after all. That is the main any percent. Yeah, as I said, that run can get ridiculous with the lowered defense. As you can see, he says he skips the menu. Nice. As you can see very briefly here, you can see that our stats are really bad. So there you go. Right, I have 2 saves already set up for the Amon fight. I don't know if we want to go to an intermission or go straight into it. I can go straight into it if we need.
By all means, go into it.
Certainly. Alright, let's do this. Right, so we're going to start by doing it the legit way. And then after I show you the legit way, I'll show you the quick way. The cheese way. Because this is genuinely one of the easiest Amons. I want to do the legit way first, because if we fail, I will have to do the cheese way very quickly to end this fight. So, as I set up, I forgot to show off my setup for Amon back at ESA Winter when we did it, when we were not fully powered up and we were on hard. Guess what we're going to do again? This is the super boss, the optional super boss we talked about Amon earlier. This is the thing that everybody donated for, so thank you all very much for meeting this. This is one of the easiest Amon fights in my opinion, however, you can die quickest in this fight. This is an optional costume, this is Onomichi. Enjoy this, I thought I'd put it on for you. Just to show, settings, game settings, difficulty is on hard. Can we go to legend? Let's not, because I haven't practiced it. You can see on our stats, we have not got to full attack just yet. You can see we're using the Bloody Fundoshi and the Bloody Binding to take our defense down to 150. We don't even have the max of 300 yet. I could level up, but I'm not going to. We don't have full healing items. We do have a lot of bentos that we're probably going to use. When you get to this point, you get a text message from Amon saying, you know, I want to challenge you on my island. It's another little fishing island. We said earlier, we keep joking that Amon has become an Amazon delivery driver. Allow me to show you why. So I'm going to fight him legit. I will allow myself a few uses of Tiger Drop, because the Tiger Drop is not cheese. But there is one move that I am very specifically not using. Charge kick. Saw it in the run. Okay, I'm going to parry him. So look at our HP. See how we just took a third of our HP off in a singular combo there? That's a charge kick. I wanted to intentionally miss that. Tiger drop. Gotta do one. He's gonna count that. I knew I was gonna get hit a few times because of how tired I am today, but when you do a full hit combo, he gives you enough time here to be able to do that move. He always, with the throw, you can't parry that. I could have dodged that. Banger of a music track, by the way. Good. So every so often after he's not done it for a while, here we go. Here comes the annoying part of the fight and the reason why I can die. That's a drone. I think you'll know what a drone is. Amon has become an Amazon delivery driver. So I didn't mean to do that. I'll give myself one charge kick. Because that's not the cheese way of doing it, as I will show you in a little bit. Dodge it. That's fine. See how he's at max length there? That's actually the whole setup. It's all you need for the cheese part of this fight. I should have done that. I'm surprised that actually hit and I wasn't punished. So, you might be wondering, what's up with the drone flying around, you know? Is it important? Does it do anything? You're darn right it does. Interrupts your every attack and also pushes you into aim. Yeah, like so. Ah, that's the grab. See how much damage that does? I missed my opportunity. No, I don't want to hit him with this. No, I'm doing it legit. Hey, heat mode. You'll know the drill at this point. He's going to get stronger. I'm going to eat some bentos, as you do. I didn't say I was going to no-heal this, because this fight is really hard for reasons that you're going to see very soon. There's a Roomba. There's a Roomba on the field. That Roomba is beeping, by the way. This is the problem with the drones. I don't know if you saw it. The Roomba exploded. And that's actually an important aspect of this fight. I do not want to be against the wall. I will do. Oh no, I didn't mean to grab him on. No, 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 no. Oh, at this stage and this HP value as well, he has one move that I really don't want to see because it will almost instantly kill me. With these strats. Don't you dare. It's not that one. This block string can't be interrupted. I can Tiger Drop through it, but he continues. Don't like this. Ooh. You don't want to know how much damage this does. I have to extreme heat. So, panicking a little bit here. I'm gonna have to use Towner. These drones. You see how they're all kind of gathering around Amon? Reason for that, and I really don't want you to see it because that's how I die. Oh, excuse you with that! That damage. That's the reason why this fight scares me, because of all of that damage from one explosion. From one explosion, they're doing it, they're circling. There it is. Oh, no, 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 I don't have any heat. I have to go into my extreme heat mode. Remember what I said earlier? You don't die in extreme heat? Yup, that's why. I'm actually running out of all my good healing. I've got to start actually doing damage to this guy. So, the nice thing about that is he's actually lost most of his drones. That's gonna hit me. Can I get away from this? One last opportunity. One last try legit, and then we load up the save that has the CC lemon applied. Like I said, the drones literally just push you into it, and the explosions kill you. This is Amon in a nutshell. I'll go more aggressive on him this time. I think that's the reason why I lost completely that time. I'm going to Tiger Drop you multiple times now. Not the throw, though. I learned my lesson with that. Also, probably try and concentrate a little. Okay, I was early. Hit that early, that's fine. I'd quite like to do the parry heat move if I can before he goes into his EX, because then I'll do more damage to him. As you know, when he goes into his EX, he gets more defense. That's the one I can't do it to. It's fine. Saw that coming. It's been too long. Come on. Parry heat move. That shouldn't have followed up with that. I knew that was greedy. I just gotta stop being greedy, and this will be an easy fight. It's the throw. Dodge that. I'm gonna charge kick you once. I said I have one. Throw. Ooh, you actually counted that a little. I didn't know it was going to the second throw. Interesting. Don't trust my HP. You can actually buffer input your left hit for all skips on the left, like the cutscene skips and stuff. Yeah, that's why I want to heal, because of the drone. Please don't do the spinning move. The one move that I am terrified of, he hasn't done yet. We'll do that move. Just set you up. There's too many drones around, they're going to start interrupting me at my combo. You see what I mean? These drones, I swear. And an open hit. Let's move away from these drones, Amon. Come on. Soon. They're gonna explode real soon. I wouldn't mind getting away from these drones, because there's an explosion happening any second now. I kind of want to take this off so I can keep my heat. Gotta be very careful. It's almost time. I wanted to grab that, but you walked towards me too fast. I swear I'm taking more damage than I did in practice. That's a death. You need to stop being so fast, Amon. There it is. Yeah, alright, we're gonna beat him the cheese way. Ooh, that sucks. That sucks. Again, those drones are so frustrating because they just push you into the explosions. I don't know why I was taking extra damage than I did in practice. That's so weird. I have a save. I have a save. Exactly the same setup, but this time we got CC Lemon. So, I feel like I failed now. Sucks. It did do the thing where it saved in the cutscene again. It did. You're not supposed to be able to save in the cutscene, but here we are. Anyway, this is the fast version. I'm in a tuxedo this time. The tuxedo from the finale. HP. Allow me to show you the cheese method. Did the wrong move. Time for you to go. Come on. Should have tiger dropped. I'm taking less damage. Did I accidentally put it on legend? Excuse me, that was a tiger drop, thank you. How dare you. So let me try and get the setup again. Oh, how did that one connect? So we're gonna get him at maximum length away. Charge kick. Knock him down. So. Watch the damage we do with the parry attack. Look how much more damage that is. away. But he doesn't actually get kicked away in this phase anymore, unfortunately. Like I said, look at the damage that these charge kicks do, even against this guy. So here's the actual final phase of this fight. Amon has a shield, which, if we didn't have CC Lemon, would be very hard to penetrate. But the fact that we have CC Lemon... and charge kick means we actually do a lot of damage. Now, you're probably wondering how to get rid of the shield. It's extreme heat, right? Wrong! You already know exactly how to get rid of it. I shouldn't have gone in on that. I am brave and I want him dead. It's actually the Roombas. That's why I said the Roombas are an important part of this fight. So he hasn't shown off the one move, thankfully. That is the entire reason why I'm scared. These drones. So the move that he shows off, which thankfully he hasn't, is... these drones stop me from doing my charge attack again, I swear. He basically spins. He spins and he grabs you and does basically a DDT. Don't like how that just happened, but yeah, the cheese is basically this. And now, if you're wondering why I don't just extreme heat, the drones and Amon can stop you mid-combat. I'm actually going to die because of this drone. Again! Ugh, these drones. And yes, again, I say that I do believe that this is one of the easiest Amon's fights in the series. I wanted to... actually, I'm glad I didn't use that, because that would have been a waste. Please don't throw me. Heat's going to explode. Get me some heat, because they're going to explode any second now. Any second now, these are going to all go bang. Yeah, no, 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 no. That's the spin. That's it. I'm just going to end him with a... charge kick. Or not. I'm going to end with me getting exploded. Stop that. Don't spin. Thank you. Haven't the drones exploded yet? Oh no. Oh no. And he tries to kick them at you as well at points, which is a little weird, because he can't. If that drone hadn't hit me, that would have connected. Get drop kicked. He's not dead. Oh, the nice thing about the Roombas as well, when they explode, they can take out the drones. Oh, stop that. These drones, I'm panicking. No. No, 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 no. See? I would have died instantly. Get out of here, time. I don't like that I had to go to the... I don't like that I had to go to the cheese strats, but... yeah, I was struggling. I'm not gonna lie, I was struggling. No joke. Speedrun strats on Amon is scary. Yeah, that fight is incredible. So you saw exactly how you can just die instantly just because of one explosion of those drones. And the thing is, and that's how it happened the first time, one of the drones pushed me towards a drone that was being exploded by a Roomba, and that's how I exploded. I'm unhappy because I feel like I failed because I wasn't able to beat him legit. But even with CC Lemon, you can see how hard this fight is. It's ridiculous. I still feel like it's one of the easiest, which is stupid. Like, actually stupid. This is an Amon that has, like... all the Amons have different gimmicks, and this Amon is an Amazon delivery driver. With his annoying Roombas and his drones. And if you have CC Lemon, you don't even have to break his shield. But that was a non-fully maxed out 150 defense on hard fight. I think I might have accidentally hit Legend for the attempt before, which is kind of hilarious. But yeah, that's the Amon fight. I'm sorry I couldn't do it non-cheese, non-CC Lemon, but here we are. Thank you all for your donations for this run, for the cutscene and the Amon fight. I hope you've enjoyed, and I hope you enjoy the rest of the marathon. Coming up next is Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 Campaign Remastered. I think?
That was right, yeah.
Cool.
I think so.
Cool. Yeah, thank you again for ESA for allowing me to run this again as a run back. Again, as I said earlier, we finally have a Yakuza speedrunning Discord scene now. Hooray. Go to speedrun.com/Yakuza. On one of the pages, there's a Discord link somewhere. Thank you, Josh,
Is the
for
dis-
being awesome.
Is the Discord called the Yak Legends?
No, I wish we can't get a custom name for it.
Oh,
Not yet. Maybe
Okay.
one day. We'll keep that in mind.
All right, yeah. Thanks a lot, Froob. Yeah, and he said coming up next, Call of Duty. We'll be back after a short break. Yeah, thanks a lot.